Li Mei's Sword of Destiny. Chapter 1021. Time seemed to stop at this moment. The silhouette fluttering in the air was so beautiful, so soul-stirring. He had returned. At this moment, the people of Sky Harmony City finally knew who it was that had returned. At the age of 16, he became famous in Sky Harmony City. At the age of 18, his name shook the entire Chu country. He was a young man who could single-handedly decide the throne of Chu. He had once unified Grand Xia and became the Emperor of Grand Xia. He had once displayed his magnificence in the Sky Dome Immortal Palace. Who under the heavens didn't know of him? His grand wedding with Emo Qingqing had shaken the entire Chu country. The hegemon of the world, the royal sacred sect, had come to cause trouble, only to be annihilated in a single move. He was born in Chu and grew up in Sky Harmony City. He had once encountered the Bai clan breaking off their engagement, and after that, he became a legend in Sky Harmony City. However, after that he left, and this absence lasted for several tens of years. Time was the easiest thing to forget, especially in a small city like Sky Harmony City. Despite the fact that this person was once a legend, when the Star River Association became the hegemon of this world, unifying the entire world under their rule, everyone gradually forgot about Qin Wentian. So much so that there were even people who wanted to make a move on his wife as well as Emo Qingqing. Now that he had returned, his magnificence once again caused people to reminisce about the legend of the past. Looking at Qin Wentian's magnificent silhouette and Emo Qingqing's peerless beauty, it was as though they were the most compatible couple in the world. Those who wanted to profane them would only be seeking their own humiliation. Luo Huan followed from behind, and upon seeing this scene, her heart warmed as a smile appeared on her face. She had witnessed everything between them, from the moment they met to the moment they fell in love. Finally, they were able to meet again. In the Qin residence of Sky Harmony City, there were also members of the Bai clan, Bai Qingsong and Bai Autumn Snow. Staring at the two silhouettes, Autumn Snow didn't feel any jealousy. She only felt her blessings, and tears could be seen at the corners of her eyes. Qin Yao's heart softened as tears streamed down her cheeks. The two of them soared in the air, speechless for a long time. Emo Qingqing was in Qin Wentian's embrace. She stared at the silhouette that was just inches away from her. That handsome countenance, that familiar aura. Her beautiful countenance had long since been filled with tears. She didn't care if Qin Wentian saw how weak she was. At this moment she only wanted to cry. Her tear-stained countenance still had a radiant smile on it. Staring at Qin Wentian's countenance, she could only cry in a silly manner. Her fluttering silhouette stopped in the air. This short instant felt like an eternity. Qin Wentian stretched out his hand and wiped the tears from the corners of Emo Qingqing's eyes. His hand was very gentle, and when he stared at that beautiful yet haggard countenance, he felt some pain in his heart. During these years she must have suffered many grievances. Qingqing, I'm sorry. Qin Wentian felt some guilt in his heart. Emo Qingqing had sacrificed too much for him and wasted too much time. Emo Qingqing placed her dainty fingers on Qin Wentian's lips. Her tears no longer flowed. A warm smile appeared on her face, so radiant and beautiful. It was like all the grievances in the past had vanished into thin air at this moment. Qin Wentian also smiled. He didn't say the word sorry again. At this moment, silence spoke louder than words. He leaned forward and lightly kissed Emo Qingqing's forehead. He then spoke in a low voice, Qingqing, after this matter is concluded, I will bring you along to the immortal realms. Emo Qingqing nodded heavily. The tears that she had stopped earlier were about to flow out again. Her eyes were moist and extremely moving. She truly didn't want to be separated from Qin Wentian by an entire world. The distance between them was too far. There were countless nights when she inclined her head and stared at the starry skies, fantasizing about which constellation Qin Wentian's silhouette was on. Qin Wentian landed on the ground with Emo Qingqing in his arms. He stared at the medicine sovereign, Qin Chuan and Yi Qingyun, as he called out, Foster father, senior medicine sovereign, Wentian is late. No, you came at the right time. If you were any later, I'm afraid you wouldn't be able to see this bag of old bones again. Qin Chuan smiled as he stared at Qin Wentian, who exuded an extraordinary aura. During these years, he would sometimes worry about Qin Wentian's safety. After all, in the unknown immortal realms, There were simply too many experts. I've implicated foster father. Qin Wentian spoke. What does this have to do with you? It's the Star River Association that is too tyrannical. Qin Yao was filled with resentment towards the Star River Association. An ordinary disciple of the Star River Association actually dared to harass her every day. Sis, who bullied you? Qin Wentian stared at the aggrieved expression on Qin Yao's face. He stretched his hand out and stroked Qin Yao's hair as he asked. Qin Yao stared at him with a hidden bitterness in her eyes. You only returned after such a long time, and you still dare to ask who bullied me? I know I'm in the wrong, sis. You can hit me if you want. Qin Wentian heartlessly replied. The woman in front of him was the closest person to him since he was young. She had accompanied him since he was young. At least you are tactful. Qin Yao's lips twitched. I'll forgive you. That fellow is asking for a beating, harassing me every day and even insulting Qingcheng. You have to kill him no matter what. As Qin Yao spoke, she pointed her finger at the young man who insulted her earlier. Qin Wentian turned his gaze over, staring at the silhouette of that young man. When the young man saw the look in Qin Wentian's eyes, he involuntarily retreated. He was someone from Sky Harmony City, so he naturally knew of Qin Wentian's name. Are you even qualified to harass my elder sister? Qin Wentian coldly spoke. That young man frantically retreated, only to see Qin Wentian waving his hand, as the sound of splattering rang out. That young man directly collapsed onto the ground. Are all these people here to deal with the Qin clan? Qin Wentian asked Qin Yao. All the people in the surroundings are here. Other than the Star River Association, many of them are from the transcendent powers of Sky Harmony City. They want to fish in muddy waters, taking advantage of the fact that the Star River Association is destroying my Qin clan to interfere. Qin Yao coldly replied. Got it. Qin Wentian slowly took a step forward. As the experts present all retreated. Qin Wentian's name was out there. He was a legendary character in Sky Harmony City, Chu, and even the entire particle world. Even if he had the support of the Star River Association, who would dare to antagonize him? In the air, the immortal from the Star River Association was still fighting against Qin Wentian's demonic beasts. Over here, there was no one who could stand against Qin Wentian. From afar, a raging wind gusted by as a group of experts riding on immortal weapons rushed over. These were none other than Purgatory and Fairy Qingmei. Surround them. Fairy Qingmei waved her hands when she saw the situation. Momentarily, the experts from the Qin clan all descended, forming a circle around them. The countenances of those who came to kill the Qin clan were all incredibly unsightly to behold. My king, how should we handle this? The gazes of everyone turned to Qin Wentian, waiting for Qin Wentian's command. Kill them without mercy. Qin Wentian commanded. Yes. A thunderous roar rang out in unison as the experts of Grand Xia began their slaughter. The countenance of the expert who fought against Yi Qingyun changed, as he suddenly sprinted towards the direction of the Qin clan. Qin Wentian didn't even bother to glance at him. He directly lifted his palms and blasted out with them. With a deafening boom, the body of the ascendant who fought against the human emperor Yi Qingyun directly exploded into nothingness, leaving nothing behind. The spectators from afar felt their hearts trembling when they saw this scene. How powerful, how strong was Qin Wentian now? The experts of Grand Xia began their slaughter. Instantly, screams of agony rang out. Qin Wentian's countenance was as cold as ice as he stared at the ruins of the Qin clan. Regardless of the Star River Association or the other powers that wanted to kick them when they were down, only the most iron-blooded methods would be able to intimidate their descendants. He didn't wish for such a thing to happen again. A thunderous boom rang out in the air. That Immortal Foundation expert's arm was torn apart by Little Rascal, who had transformed into a demonic dragon. Fresh blood dripped from his wounds as he roared in rage and flew downwards. His Immortal Foundation shone with a dazzling light, enveloping the experts of the Qin clan. Qin Wentian's Immortal Foundation surged as a supreme might erupted forth, instantly enveloping this entire space within it. The Immortal Foundation experts' Immortal Foundation had no way to penetrate this space. At this moment, Purgatory also moved. Her speed was like lightning as she lunged towards her opponent. Purgatory's flames blasted out, instantly enveloping this entire space. Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared below. Although this person had a cultivation base at the second level of Immortal Foundation, Little Rascal and Purgatory alone were enough to kill him. Qin Wentian, even if you have 3 Immortal Foundation experts, you won't be able to withstand a single strike from the Star River Association. Very soon, our army will arrive to slaughter you all. If you kill me, the Star River Association will make sure you all die miserably. That Immortal Foundation expert struggled as he howled in rage. Don't kill him so easily. Let him slowly enjoy his death. Qin Wentian directly replied. Arg! Yet another scream of agony rang out. One of his legs was directly destroyed by Purgatory's flames. The terrifying flames gushed into his body, incinerating his Immortal Foundation. Qin Wentian, you dare? He howled in a frenzy. Purgatory's countenance turned ice-cold when she saw him threatening Qin Wentian. At the instant the Immortal Foundation expert clashed with Little Rascal, her palm imprint landed on his body. Rumble! His Immortal Foundation shattered as his immortal light dissipated. Chi! Purgatory's flames burned the body of that Immortal Foundation expert. Argart! That Immortal Foundation expert screamed in agony. His Immortal Foundation was crippled, and he was incinerated by the flames of Purgatory. One could very well imagine how much pain he was in right now. Many in Sky Harmony City personally witnessed this scene, and all of them couldn't help but feel a chill in their hearts. That legendary character whose name shook the world, when faced with his family being threatened, was so ruthless that it was terrifying. An Immortal Foundation existence that they couldn't even imagine, a lofty immortal that they couldn't even reach, was ordered to be executed by Qin Wentian. He threatened Qin Wentian's family, but Qin Wentian used the most tyrannical method to retaliate against him. Finally, the body of that Immortal Foundation expert from the Star River Association was incinerated, vanishing from this world with a gust of wind. However, the shock brought about by his death didn't vanish. Below, the experts from the Star River Association no longer had any thoughts of fighting. They only wanted to flee madly. When they came here they were unexcelled in the world, wanting to destroy the Qin residents and capture the #1 beauty of Chu, as well as the medicine sovereign. But at this moment they only wanted to live. However, could they live? Not too long after, the ruins of the Qin residence were dyed red with blood. They had destroyed the Qin residence, turning it into ruins. But at this moment, they were buried together with the ruins of the Qin residence. Foster father, get some men to bring them to those powers and clans that participated in today's matter. Don't kill the innocent, but kill all the elder-level characters of the clans that participated in this matter. Qin Wentian's cold voice thundered through the air, once again shocking the entire Sky Harmony City. This time around, Sky Harmony City was going to carry out an iron-blooded purge. Those powers that participated in this matter were finished. Qin Wentian, who had returned, was filled with a terrifying rage. These people wanted to make a move against his Qin residence, his family, and his wife Mo Qingcheng. Chapter 1022. Qin Wentian's handsome countenance was filled with coldness. He stared at Purgatory and spoke. Purgatory, go and destroy the Star River Association in Sky Harmony City. Leave no one alive. Yes, master. Purgatory's silhouette flickered as she soared up into the air. Sky Harmony City was very small. With a sweep of her immortal sense, she already knew where the Star River Association was located. The experts of Grand Xia also departed, heading towards the clans that participated in today's matter. Qin Wentian turned his gaze to the Medicine Sovereign as he asked, Senior Medicine Sovereign, what happened exactly? Back then, even the immortal senses of so many Immortal Foundation experts were unable to suppress the Star River Association? Before Qin Wentian and his avatar Ditian left this particle world, they destroyed the Royal Sacred Sect and the immortal cultivators from the immortal realms. In order to prevent the Medicine Sovereign from taking revenge, those Immortal Foundation experts who were saved by Ditian all left their immortal senses in the Medicine Sovereign Valley. Although these immortal senses didn't have any powerful combat prowess, they were still Immortal Foundation experts. As long as they stood out, how could ordinary powers dare to make a move against the Medicine Sovereign Valley? It's useless. Those immortal senses were all erased by the Star River Association. The medicine sovereign slowly shook his head. Back then, when the Star River Association descended from the outside world, they wanted to rebuild the Star River Association in this particle world and swiftly started their operations. They were extremely tyrannical, and for a period of time, all the major powers in the Royal Sacred Region were in danger. The Star River Association used their tyrannical methods to suppress the immortal realms, and at that time, I felt that they would soon make a move against the Medicine Sovereign Valley. I sensed the severity of the situation and immediately decided to send a batch of people to the immortal realms to seek refuge. The people from the Battle Sword sect also came to the Medicine Sovereign Valley to pay a visit. Coincidentally, there were many who wanted to roam the immortal realms, and hence, I sent a batch of people from the Battle Sword sect and the Medicine Sovereign Valley away. Initially, I wanted to send Qingqing away as well, but that last stubbornly refused to leave, saying that she wanted to wait for you to return. But at that time I didn't realize how serious the situation was. After that, the people from the Star River Association continued to descend from the immortal realms, and they attacked the Medicine Sovereign Valley. As the Medicine Sovereign spoke, his body trembled uncontrollably. That aged countenance of his seemed as though he could pass away at any moment now. If it wasn't for the fact that he was using pills to preserve his life, he would have already died. The immortal senses left behind by the various experts were directly destroyed. They told the other experts not to meddle in other people's business, or even if their true bodies were to descend, they would all be killed. I fought with my life on the line, and even my immortal foundation was shattered before I managed to bring a group of people out. The Medicine Sovereign Valley was destroyed, and after that we started to flee. If it wasn't for your foster father, Yi Qingyun, protecting us, I'm afraid we wouldn't have been able to hide until today. The Medicine Sovereign's eyes were scarlet red, flashing with the flames of hatred. Everything happened too quickly. I, this old fellow, have lived long enough. There's no need to feel pity for me even if I die. However, there are too many people from the Medicine Sovereign Valley who are still so young, and the majority of them have already been killed. Senior Medicine Sovereign, this can't be blamed on you. I will impart an immortal art to you. Senior, try to cultivate it and you might have a chance to rebuild your immortal foundation. Qin Wentian's heart was as cold as ice. Star River Association. Immortal Foundation is the foundation of Immortal Foundation experts. Since it's already shattered, there's no more hope. The Medicine Sovereign shook his head. How would we know if we don't try? Senior, please believe in me. Qin Wentian solemnly spoke to the Medicine Sovereign. The Medicine Sovereign nodded. An intense beam of light shot out from the center of Qin Wentian's brows as a strand of immortal sense transmitted the Immortal Slaying Foundation to the Medicine Sovereign. Senior Medicine Sovereign, how many peak experts does the Star River Association have in this particle world? Qin Wentian asked. He had to be clear of this matter first. I'm not sure, but there shouldn't be many of them currently. There shouldn't be more than 10 of them. But what's more terrifying are the reinforcements of the Star River Association. They directly destroyed the immortal senses of the immortals and threatened them. Clearly, they have a terrifying amount of strength in the immortal realms. Wentian, bring these people and head to the immortal realms. The immortal realms are so vast, it wouldn't be too difficult for them to hunt us down. Little rascal, make a trip to the Royal Sacred Region and find out how many experts there are in the headquarters of the Star River Association. Take the registration talisman I gave you. If there's anything wrong, immediately retreat. Given your ability to change forms and conceal your aura, they won't be able to track you. Qin Wentian stared at Little Rascal in the air as he spoke. "'Kay, I'll be going then. Qingcheng, let's talk again in the future." Little Rascal waved his claws at Mo Qingcheng and soared into the air, transforming into a golden-winged great rock as he soared into the distance. Qin Wentian didn't dare to be careless when facing such an enemy. He had to find out more about Mo Qingcheng and the Star River Association first. Will Little Rascal be all right? Mo Qingcheng asked with some worry in her heart. No, that fellow is extremely intelligent. Without a third-level Immortal Foundation expert, it would be extremely difficult to capture him. The Star River Association wouldn't send out two powerful experts to attack our particle world. Also, he has a teleportation talisman on him, and can transform into a little beast. Even if his immortal sense detects him, they wouldn't know it was him. Qin Wentian explained. Mo Qingcheng nodded lightly. I will take revenge for the medicine sovereign valley. Qin Wentian held onto Mo Qingcheng's hand as he spoke. Wentian, don't take revenge for now. Let's go to the immortal realms first and talk about revenge when we are stronger in the future. The medicine sovereign decisively rejected. Qin Wentian had heaven-defying talent, stepping into the immortal realm in just over 50 years of age. How terrifying was this? To immortal foundation experts, those in their 50s were considered young. Hence, their appearances wouldn't change and their demeanor would be even more extraordinary. With such talent, the medicine sovereign naturally didn't wish for Qin Wentian to be destroyed in a moment of rashness. Mo Qingcheng held onto Qin Wentian's hand as her beautiful eyes stared at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian could sense her worry and nervousness. Wentian, it's indeed not a good time to take revenge. There's still plenty of time and your potential is extremely high. In the future, you would definitely become a king among immortals. Why are you in such a hurry? Yi Qingyun persuaded. Everyone stared at Qin Wentian with worry in their eyes, wanting to persuade him not to take revenge. They understood Qin Wentian's personality very well. He could clearly differentiate between gratitude and grudges, and he was iron-blooded. When he was young, he even dared to block the path of Chu Qianjiao for the sake of his foster father Qin Chuan. What sort of talent did Qin Wentian have? He was an immortal, someone who stood at the peak of this world. Back then, the sacred emperor of the royal sacred sect was the true immortal, ruling over everything under the heavens. The medicine sovereign was also an immortal, and Qin Wentian was such a young immortal. They were all relatives of Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian's life was much more precious compared to theirs. They couldn't afford to lose him here in a moment of rashness. I won't be impulsive. Qin Wentian felt warmth in his heart when he saw the concerned gazes of the crowd. During these years roaming the immortal realms, other than Qinger, it was very rare for him to experience the feeling of family. Right now, all his relatives were here. Even if there was a blood feud between them, they still didn't want him to take the risk. You must not act recklessly, the medicine sovereign solemnly reminded. Just treat it as doing this for Qingcheng. Qin Wentian felt even more uneasy in his heart. Senior medicine sovereign's cultivation was crippled, and the medicine sovereign valley was destroyed. Yet, the medicine sovereign still solemnly advised him, afraid that something bad might happen to him. Staring at the familiar silhouettes in front of him, they were all his relatives in this world. He, Qin Wentian, naturally couldn't be harmed. If something happened to him, what would happen to his relatives? However, if he didn't take revenge for this, he wouldn't be a man. Turning around, Qin Wentian glanced at the ruins of the Qin residence. Bai Qingsong walked over and spoke, Wentian, the Qin residence has already been destroyed to such an extent. There are so many people here. Why don't you temporarily go to the Bai residence to rest? I've already dismissed the servants. The Bai residence is very vast. Qin Wentian stared at the white-haired old man in front of him. The old man looked extremely old, as though he was already in his 70s. However, the old man's eyes were extremely bright as he looked at him, as though he was filled with anticipation. Qin Wentian understood Bai Qingsong's feelings. Back then, although the grudges between them had been resolved, Bai Qingsong still had a knot in his heart. Qin Wentian would often stay in the Bai clan when he was young, but the best time was when he wanted to kill Qin Wentian. He hoped that Qin Wentian would be able to rejoin the Bai clan. Only then would he feel better in his heart. Behind Bai Qingsong, Autumn Snow's beautiful eyes were also staring at Qin Wentian. Wentian, during these years, Uncle Bai would often stay in the Qin residence to accompany father to play chess. Even when the calamity was about to befall us, he would still face it together with the Qin clan. Qin Yao, who was standing at the side, spoke. Back then she hated the Bai clan to the bone, but in the span of 20+ years many things could change. Even during the calamity of the Qin clan, Bai Qingsong and Autumn Snow didn't leave. From this, one could see the sincerity of their friendship. After so many years, I also wished to visit the Bai residence. Qin Wentian smiled and nodded his head. Uncle Bai, is there any news about Bai Qing? Ai. Bai Qingsong sighed as he shook his head. I've let Bai Qing down. Back then, if it wasn't for what I did to you, she wouldn't have left in a fit of anger. Bai Qing will be fine. There's a high possibility that she has already gone to the immortal realms. In Qin Wentian's eyes, the silhouette of a pure and adorable young girl appeared. He missed Bai Qing very much, and he wanted to find some time to visit the Devil's Statue Cliff again. Let's hope so. Let's go. Bai Qingsong spoke in a low voice. The group of them then headed towards the Bai residence. The incident today caused an earthquake in Sky Harmony City. Qin Wentian had returned and destroyed the Star River Association in a domineering manner, starting a massacre in Sky Harmony City. Those who were annihilated became the target of ridicule. With just that little bit of strength, they actually wanted to throw stones at someone when they were down. The battle between the Star River Association and Qin Wentian wasn't something that small powers like them could participate in. They were annihilated in the blink of an eye. In the Bai clan, after Bai Qingsong settled everyone down, Little Rascal also returned. He told Qin Wentian that he saw 7 Immortal Foundation experts in the Star River Association. They should have already known about the incident in Sky Harmony City, and yet they didn't make a move. It was as though they were waiting for something. Qin Wentian and his companions gathered together and chatted for a very long time before they returned to their rooms to rest. The night was incomparably tranquil. In a courtyard, only Qin Wentian and Mo Qingqing sat on a rattan chair. Mo Qingqing leaned against Qin Wentian, quietly enjoying the tranquility of this moment. Are you really not going to return to the immortal realms? Mo Qingqing inclined her head, her beautiful countenance staring at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian gently stroked her hair as he smiled. I know what to do. I have to take revenge no matter what. I believe in you, but you have to remember this. If something happens to you, I will definitely not live alone. Mo Qingqing gently smiled. Her voice was extremely calm. She hugged Qin Wentian tightly, as though she was afraid of losing him. Qin Wentian stared at that flawless countenance. His heart was about to melt. He leaned forward and kissed Mo Qingqing's warm lips. Mo Qingqing hugged him even tighter, doing her best to reciprocate. Qin Wentian's body blazed with flames as he carried Mo Qingqing's flawless body into his arms, walking towards the bedroom. This night was so beautiful. Chapter 1023. Early in the morning, the Bai clan was exceptionally quiet. There were people cultivating everywhere. In the courtyard where Qin Wentian was, he was flipping through ancient scrolls and seemed to be engrossed in them. The sound of footsteps drifted over. Mo Qingqing walked over gracefully. Qin Wentian turned his head and stared at her, a gentle smile on his face. Mo Qingqing's face was flushed red. Her skin was like water, and her countenance was so beautiful that it could topple the world. What are you looking at? Mo Qingqing walked to the side of Qin Wentian as she stared at the ancient scroll. Array formations. Although I specialize in arrays, immortal arrays are even more extensive and profound. I need to carve an immortal array formation in the Bai family just in case. Qin Wentian said. Mo Qingqing nodded lightly. Go ahead, I won't disturb you any longer. As she spoke, she gently leaned against Qin Wentian's side and did not speak. Qin Wentian smiled faintly and continued to look at the formation. After a period of time, a snow-white little rascal ran over and leaped onto Mo Qingqing's body, glaring at Qin Wentian. Since you have Qingqing, you don't want this Bao Bao anymore? Aren't you male? Qin Wentian laughed. Besides, isn't it good for me to create an opportunity for you to be with Purgatory? Sigh, little Purgatory is too fierce. Little rascal shook its head. Upon seeing this scene, Qin Wentian rapped little rascal on his head. You little rascal, aren't you still a child? You can't even transform. What are you thinking about? Who asked this Bao Bao to be an ancient beast king? Little rascal held his head high, as though he was number one under the heavens, causing Mo Qingqing to burst out in laughter. Oh yeah, Wentian, aren't we going to kill our way into the Star River Association? My immortal sense can only see 7 Immortal Foundation experts. The 3 of us should be enough to sweep them away. Little rascal spoke. Things aren't so simple. Since the Star River Association dared to be so arrogant, they must be a major power in the immortal realms. But after I returned, they actually chose to lower their banners and lower their drums. Could it be that they are truly afraid of me? Most probably, they are also plotting or waiting for the experts from the immortal realms to arrive. Since they are waiting, let's wait together with them. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with coldness. I wonder when the people from the Battle Sword sect would arrive at the immortal Qinbian gate. Little rascal mumbled. After which it soared up into the air, transforming into a golden-winged great rock as it stared at Qin Wentian. The Star River Association is so arrogant, bullying Qingcheng. I want revenge. Without waiting for Qin Wentian to speak, he disappeared in a gust of wind. Little rascal. Emo Qingcheng called out. Qin Wentian smiled at her. Don't worry, this little fellow is extremely intelligent. He won't be at a disadvantage. But he's still young, Emo Qingcheng whispered. Have you ever seen him suffer a loss? Qin Wentian laughed. Emo Qingcheng thought of how little rascal would always take advantage of beauties. She glared at Qin Wentian. Isn't it all because he learned it from you? I'm innocent. Qin Wentian had a face filled with black lines. Humph. Emo Qingcheng smiled at him. Since I'm innocent, let's be more realistic. Qin Wentian pulled Emo Qingcheng into his embrace as his hands started to move naughtily. Scoundrel, you dare. Emo Qingcheng's body dodged as her laughter rang out unceasingly. She had never experienced such a sweet moment in so many years. In the Royal Sacred Region, in the headquarters of the Star River Association, there were numerous majestic buildings. Outside the Star River Association, countless people could be seen sighing in amazement as they stared at the majestic buildings. These were the hegemons of the current world. However, it was rumored that Qin Wentian had already returned and started a massacre in the Medicine Sovereign Valley. He even killed an Immortal Foundation expert and was extremely powerful. A supreme genius who went to the Immortal Realms tens of years ago had returned and stepped into the Immortal Realm. The young Qin Wentian was already comparable to the Sacred Emperor back then, or maybe he was even stronger than the Sacred Emperor. However, no matter how strong Qin Wentian was, it would be extremely difficult for him to shake the Star River Association. Rumble. At this moment, a terrifying demonic might gushed forth from the air. Everyone inclined their heads only to see auspicious clouds churning as a young Saint Beast appeared in the air. Oh my god, it's the Kirin Saint Beast. How handsome. It's really the legendary Kirin Saint Beast. Auspicious clouds churning, the arrival of a Saint Beast. Is this Kirin Saint Beast heading towards the Star River Association? Everyone inclined their heads and stared at the sky as their gazes froze. Bzzz. Within the Great Hall of the Star River Association, numerous silhouettes flew out, instantly appearing in front of the Kirin, their eyes gleaming with sharpness. This seemed to be a young Saint Beast. Its aura wasn't very strong, but it already exuded a supreme might. To think that there would be Kirins in this particle world. The eyes of the immortals from the Star River Association gleamed with greed. They were naturally clear of the value of a Kirin Saint Beast. When it matured, it would definitely become a supreme greater demon. Even if all of them added up their value, they would still be far from being able to match up to this beast cub. Rumble. The Kirin Saint Beast continued flying towards the interior of the Star River Association. The immortals from the Star River Association didn't obstruct it. They exchanged mutual glances and followed behind it. Very swiftly, the Kirin caused a commotion in the interior of the Star River Association, searching for treasures. It didn't miss out on any of the treasures, it was extremely willful. Let it be. Many immortals from the Star River Association wanted to stop it, yet the immortals from the Star River Association stopped them, allowing the Kirin to do as it pleased. The Kirin seemed to have found some good wine and started to drink. It was somewhat drunk and couldn't even walk steadily, causing the immortals from the Star River Association to laugh uproariously. The Kirin Saint Beast is also addicted to wine? This is immortal brew my wine. One of them spoke with a pained heart. Don't feel heartache. Let this little ancestor enjoy himself to his heart's content. Another person spoke. Finally, after drinking for a long time, the Kirin Saint Beast lay there comfortably, basking in the sun. Several immortals slowly approached, and upon seeing the Kirin staring at them in intoxication, they finally came to the side of the Kirin and stretched out their hands to gently stroke its body. The scales on its body were as tough as armor, exuding a majestic aura, causing them to sigh in admiration. As expected of a Kirin, the Kirin Saint Beast seemed to be enjoying it very much. It flipped its body around, causing everyone to laugh. One of them then asked, Little Kirin, are your parents in this particle world? The Kirin Saint Beast glanced at the person who spoke. It then flipped its body and started to scratch the body of that person with its sharp claws. That person started laughing loudly, as though he could feel the intimacy between him and the Kirin. Roar! The Kirin howled in a low voice, pouncing on him. That person first started. He lay on the ground as immortal might gushed forth from him. However, he only saw the Kirin lightly scratching his body, causing him to start laughing uproariously again. Big brother, it's just playing with you. An immortal beside him laughed. The Kirin Saint Beast turned and pounced on him again, staring at him curiously as it scratched his body. The group of immortals all laughed uproariously when they saw the Kirin Saint Beast getting closer to them. They no longer released their immortal might. The group of Immortal Foundation experts simply accompanied the Kirin Saint Beast, rolling about on the ground and playing with it. They seemed to be having a great time, but in their hearts, they were all thinking about how to take the Kirin Saint Beast for themselves. At this moment, the Kirin Saint Beast pounced on the two Immortal Foundation experts, pouncing on them. But at this moment, its sharp claws abruptly glowed with a terrifying golden light as it abruptly smashed towards the two Immortal Foundation experts. Argart! Two screams of misery shook the heavens and earth. The Kirin Saint Beast abruptly transformed into a ferocious demon as it soared up into the sky, radiating a terrifying immortal might. Big brother! The other Immortal Foundation experts all had horrified expressions on their faces. This sudden scene caused their hearts to tremble, and they had no time to react. The Immortal Foundations of the two Immortal Foundation experts had already been shattered. Vile beast! They inclined their heads and stared at the Kirin in the air only to hear the Kirin speaking. A bunch of idiots, so stupid. Goodbye. After speaking, he crushed a spatial talisman as a powerful spatial energy enveloped his body, causing him to vanish in an instant. Arg, I've become a cripple. Kill that bastard. Boom boom boom. Numerous waves of cold immortal might engulfed the heavens and earth as they chased after Little Rascal, causing the hearts of those in the Star River Association to tremble. Those experts chased after Little Rascal, but how could they even find Little Rascal's silhouette? When Little Rascal returned to the Bai clan, Qin Wentian was currently inscribing an immortal formation. Little Rascal, what did you do? Qin Wentian laughed when he saw Little Rascal returning. I crippled two Immortal Foundation experts. Those people are too stupid. I transformed into a Kirin cub and they still wanted to subdue me. Little Rascal lazily replied. Qin Wentian rolled his eyes. How could ordinary Immortal Foundation experts resist the temptation of transforming into a saint beast? Who would have thought that it was you? AI, this Baobao's intellect far surpasses humans. Little Rascal sighed like a lonely expert. That look on his face was definitely asking for a beating. You are awesome. Qin Wentian was completely speechless. He waved his hands as he roared, rise. As soon as he finished speaking, a terrifying rumbling sound could be heard. The entire Bai clan was uprooted from the ground. The vast land seemed to have turned into a floating island. This island was like a gigantic rock that was carrying the entire island on its back. What are you doing? Little Rascal asked. I need to make a trip to the immortal realms. For everyone's safety, I'll hide them first. Qin Wentian spoke. He had no way to determine if the reinforcements from the Star River Association or the Immortal Champion Gate would arrive first. He had to prepare for a rainy day. Oh, Little Rascal replied. Let's go. Qin Wentian's silhouette flickered as he landed in the middle of the formation, after which the entire Bai residence flew into the void, gradually vanishing from sight. The people of Sky Harmony City all felt their hearts pounding violently as they witnessed this shocking scene. Qin Wentian was simply too terrifying. The Bai residents vanished from Sky Harmony City just like that. Qin Wentian's family and friends, as well as Mo Qingqing's family, were all on this floating formation. Qin Wentian could finally set his mind at ease and head to the immortal realms. Outside the particle world, in the starry space, Qin Wentian flew alone, heading in the direction of the Cloud Prefecture. Earlier when he met the Battle Sword sect, he hurriedly rushed back to the particle world. There was still something he hadn't done yet. This time he wanted to complete it. Qin Wentian's destination, the Drifts Now City. Chapter 1024. The Driftsnow City was one of the 3 main cities of the Jiangling country. Back then, the Cloud Prefecture was governed by the Dongshangshan Gate. After the immortal Qianbian Gate took over, the new city lord of the Driftsnow City was also someone appointed by the immortal Qianbian Gate. Within the Driftsnow City, the ancient Driftsnow City, which was constructed by the Driftsnow Master, had already become a part of the scenery. There would often be experts coming here to admire the ancient Driftsnow City as they reminisced about the legend of the Driftsnow Master. With regards to this legend, the people of the Driftsnow City had already gradually forgotten about it. But back then, when Qin Wentian acted, the Driftsnow Master reappeared in the world, traversing through space to the Jiang clan of the Cloud Prefecture and annihilating them, shocking the entire Cloud Prefecture. Everyone was filled with yearning for the story of the Driftsnow Master and immortal Jade. At this moment, in the ancient Driftsnow City, many people stared in the direction of the 9 immortality bells. It has been a long time since the bell chimes rang out. Pei Yu was still sitting in front of the ancient bells, seemingly in a deep slumber. Many people sighed in their hearts to be able to fall in love with an ancient person like this. Most probably only Pei Yu would be able to do so. Now that the Pei clan of the Jiangling King Manor had already moved away, Pei Yu was still here. Boom! At this moment, the bell chimes, which hadn't rung out for a long time, suddenly rang out. Pei Yu abruptly opened her eyes as a mysterious energy enveloped this entire space. In the air, snowflakes suddenly drifted down. It was exceptionally beautiful. The bell chimes, the snowflakes fall. Is the soul of the Driftsnow Master starting to miss immortal Jade again? Everyone stretched their hands out, receiving the falling snowflakes, allowing them to melt in their hands. The soul of the Driftsnow Master would never be extinguished, forever missing immortal Jade. And when he missed immortal Jade, his tears would turn into snowflakes. Pei Yu opened her eyes, staring at the drifting snowflakes. Her body spun as a radiant smile appeared on her face. Are you awake again? Seems like you miss immortal Jade again. She is truly blessed. A sigh drifted over. Pei Yu's eyes abruptly gleamed with a bright light as she spoke. Driftsnow Master, is it really you? Can you hear my words? Pei Yu, why must you lie to yourself? I'm an ancient person and have long fallen. You are still alive of this world, wasting your youth on the dead. How pitiful. Pei Yu's expression changed slightly as she said, but I'm willing to accompany you. I'm not willing to see you wasting your life. How foolish. A person like you doesn't even have your own beliefs and doesn't live for yourself. What qualifications do you have to love others? Even if you love them, you would only be a burden to them and wouldn't be able to gain their respect. A stern voice rang out. Pei Yu only felt her entire body trembling as tears streamed down her face. Go pursue your own life. If you stay here, I will only look down on you. The ethereal voice drifted over again as the bell chimes rang out once more. It was like the evening drum and morning bell, hammering into Pei Yu's mind. Tears streamed down her face as she stared at the snowflakes drifting down from the sky. So it was like this? After crying for a long time, Pei Yu finally stopped. She stared at the snowflakes and said, "All right then, I'm leaving. You are right, I should pursue my own life. You have to take care of yourself." As she spoke, Pei Yu turned and floated towards the distance, leaving resolutely. Not long after, her silhouette completely vanished from sight. Everyone stared at the disappearing silhouette as they sighed in their hearts. Had the soul of the Driftsnow Master awakened once again? The snowflakes still danced in the air. And amidst the drifting snowflakes, a figure slowly floated down. Who is that? The countenances of everyone froze. Earlier, could it be that he was the one speaking to Pei Yu, pretending to be the Driftsnow Master? Qin Wentian, he is Qin Wentian. Someone recognized him as their eyes gleamed with sharpness. Back then, the person who caused the ancient Driftsnow City to tremble, the person who caused the Driftsnow Master to reappear in the world, was none other than Qin Wentian. He has returned, once again descending upon the ancient Driftsnow City. Qin Wentian stood on top of the 9 immortality bells, staring at the disappearing silhouette as he spoke in a low voice. Pei Yu, I hope you won't blame me. Qin Wentian didn't wish for Pei Yu to be destroyed here, spending her entire life guarding this illusory character. Everyone, you can leave now. Qin Wentian spoke. Those who didn't know him coldly laughed. Who do you think you are? You want us to leave? Qin Wentian glanced at him before closing his eyes. Releasing his immortal sense, the 9 immortality bells rang out unceasingly, causing people's hearts to tremble. Scram! A voice rang out, akin to thunder from a clear sky, accompanied by the terrifying chimes. That person coughed out a mouthful of blood as his countenance turned pale. His heart trembled as he stared at Qin Wentian. This man was actually able to communicate with the 9 immortality bells? He was Qin Wentian. Thinking back to the rumors of the past, he instantly understood. The person before him was none other than Qin Wentian, the one who connected with immortality through ancient will, the one who forged an immortal-ranked weapon, Qin Wentian. Boom boom boom. The bell chimes rang out unceasingly, causing the entire sky to turn white. Snowflakes danced in the air as the vast ancient city trembled. Those silhouettes on top of the drifts now city all hurriedly retreating into the depths of the ancient city. Qin Wentian's immortal sense sank into the 9 immortality bells, forming a connection with them. His immortal sense could see the entire Driftsnow city, as well as the shape of the Driftsnow master. He used his body to refine the city. Using his soul to fuse with the Driftsnow city, he an immortal jade created. Using his life to refine this city. Rumble! The entire Driftsnow city started to tremble. Qin Wentian released his immortal sense to the extreme. It was as though he wanted to transform into the city itself, fusing with it. A terrifying pressure bore down on him, and within the 9 immortality bells, Qin Wentian's silhouette appeared. Rise! With a loud roar, the vast Driftsnow city began to move. Qin Wentian stretched out his hands, as though he wanted to lift the heavens and earth. As he moved, the entire city began to rise as well, causing the hearts of the spectators to tremble. The Driftsnow city was truly a city that could move. The bell chimes shook the heavens and earth. Qin Wentian's body rose higher and higher as the Driftsnow city rose together with him. The 9 immortality bells transformed into an incomparably gigantic ancient bell, its glow enveloping both Qin Wentian and the entire Driftsnow city. At this instant, the 9 immortality bells transformed into a true immortal bell, radiating boundless light. The 9 immortality bells are the true soul of the Driftsnow city. Qin Wentian's heart was as clear as a mirror. Connecting with immortality through ancient will was equivalent to connecting with the 9 immortality bells. The Driftsnow master's weaponsmithing abilities are truly heaven-defying. Qin Wentian praised in his heart. The ancient bell radiated boundless light, enveloping the entire Driftsnow city. In an instant, the projection of the Driftsnow city was sucked into the ancient bell before vanishing from sight. Within the 9 immortality bells, a city appeared. Qin Wentian held the 9 immortality bells in his hands as he floated in the air. The ancient city below him completely vanished as it was sucked into the 9 immortality bells. From afar a figure returned. It was none other than Peiyu. She inclined her head and stared at the air, staring at the silhouette of Qin Wentian. It's you. Peiyu murmured. It's me. Qin Wentian nodded. Peiyu, live your life well and don't indulge in unrealistic fantasies. From today onwards, the Driftsnow master is already a thing of the past. I, Qin Wentian, am the new Driftsnow master. Peiyu's beautiful eyes stared at the air. That's right, now that Qin Wentian controlled the Driftsnow city, he was the successor of the Driftsnow master, the new Driftsnow master. Peiyu, take care. Qin Wentian spoke. After which, his silhouette soared up into the air, departing this place. When Qin Wentian arrived at the Driftsnow city, those from the Battle Sword sect followed Qin Wentian's instructions and arrived at the Jiangling King Manor. However, they were obstructed by the guards of the Jiangling King Manor. Staring at the majestic immortal palace before them, those from the Battle Sword sect couldn't help but feel a formless pressure. Who are you? The guard asked. We are recommended by Qin Wentian. We are here to look for the Jiangling King. The old ancestor of the Battle Sword sect walked out. The eyes of the guard flickered as he glanced at the people before him. Everyone, please wait for a moment. Allow me to pass the message. Right. The old ancestor of the Battle Sword sect nodded. He didn't dare to have any objections. Even an ordinary guard had the same aura as him. Not long after, an imposing-looking middle-aged man led many people over. This middle-aged man was none other than the Jiangling King. He stared at the people from the Battle Sword sect and asked, You all are? He could tell that the strength of these people were indeed very weak and wouldn't dare to lie. If not, they would only be courting death. We are from the sect of Qin Wentian in this particle world. This old man is the sect leader of our sect, and I'm truly sorry for disturbing Senior. Qin Wentian told me to look for the Jiangling King, to bring us to the Immortal Qinbian Gate. He left a strand of his immortal sense in the Immortal Qinbian Gate. There's an important matter he needs to discuss with the Jiangling King. The old ancestor of the battle sword sect spoke in a low voice. The person before him was much stronger compared to him. When the Jiangling King heard this, he knew that there were no lies. He politely replied, "So it's someone from young Master Qin's sect. Old sir, please come in quickly. Men, prepare an immortal banquet to entertain old sir, and the people from young Master Qin's sect." After speaking, he personally walked up and lowered his stance, guiding the old ancestor of the battle sword sect forward. "Senior, I don't dare to accept such a great gesture." The old ancestor of the battle sword sect was greatly shocked. The people behind him all exchanged glances, feeling incomparably shocked in their hearts. The Jiangling King actually referred to Qin Wentian as young Master Qin? This was simply too shocking. What identity did Qin Wentian have exactly? This is something that young Master Qin's elder should do. Everyone please, there's no need to be so polite. The Jiangling King lowered his stance. The old ancestor of the battle sword sect walked forward with trepidation. Qin Wentian told us to hurry to the Immortal Qinbian Gate. Jiangling King, there's no need to prepare the immortal banquet. The Jiangling King contemplated for a moment before he nodded. That's fine. Young Master Qin's matter is more important. Let's move out now. I have the same intention as well. The old ancestor of the battle sword sect nodded. After which, the Jiangling King personally led them to the Immortal Qinbian Gate in the Cloud Prefecture. Within the Immortal Qinbian Gate, there were numerous immortal palaces that emanated a misty immortal qi. The guards everywhere were all lofty immortals, causing the hearts of the people from the battle sword sect to pound wildly. Yet, the Immortal Foundation experts they met were all extremely polite to them. These people were all terrifying experts who could easily kill them with a single slap. In addition, all the people from the Immortal Qinbian Gate addressed Qin Wentian in the same manner, young Master Qin. At this moment, immortal light radiated from Yilingxuang as Qin Wentian's immortal sense appeared. "Wentian," Yilingxuang called out, "there's an important matter in the particle world. I'm going to pay a visit to the Emperor Qianbian now. Elder sis, you and the old ancestor and the others can temporarily stay in the immortal sect." Qin Wentian spoke. After that, he led them forward and they met a group of Immortal Foundation guards. When they saw Qin Wentian, they all halted their steps and lined up in an orderly line. They bowed and greeted, "Young Master Qin." Qin Wentian nodded his head lightly and directly walked past them. The people from the battle sword sect followed behind Qin Wentian. All of them felt great waves of shock in their hearts. Chapter 1025. Particle World, Royal Sacred Region, Star River Association. At this moment, a group of experts gathered together. Other than those from the Star River Association, there were even more powerful experts here. The Immortal Foundation experts who were in charge of this particle world were all extremely respectful. "Where is Qin Wentian?" the person in the lead asked. "No idea. According to our scouts, Qin Wentian set up a grand formation in the Sky Harmony cities by clan. After that, he vanished in a single night. Even when we went to investigate, we couldn't find him with our immortal senses." An Immortal Foundation expert lowered his head as he spoke. Qin Wentian was nowhere to be found. Could it be that he left this particle world and headed to the immortal realms? The person in the lead didn't blame them, he merely calmly asked. "I don't think so. If he left this particle world and headed to the immortal realms, there's no need for Qin Wentian to set up a grand formation. He could just use an immortal rank divine weapon to bring them away." That person replied. "That's true. Let's go, we will directly head to Chu. Scan the area with our immortal senses, we have to find them even if we have to dig 3 feet into the ground." The person in the lead walked down from his chair and instantly appeared outside. After that, a group of experts departed, heading in the direction of Chu. In Chu, a group of Immortal Foundation experts descended from the sky, their might enveloping the entire Chu royal capital. Countless people inclined their heads as their hearts trembled. These people were so powerful. Their auras towered up into the sky, radiating immortal might. All of them were Immortal Foundation experts. These Immortal Foundation experts continued on their way, heading in the direction of Sky Harmony City. After confirming that there was no one in the city, they started to spread out their immortal senses, wanting to find Qin Wentian and the others even if they had to dig 3 feet into the ground. 2 hours later, the experts returned to the airspace above the Sky Harmony City of Chu, all of them shaking their heads. Nobody was there. They had searched the entire Chu country, not missing a single place, yet they couldn't find any traces of Qin Wentian and the others. It was as though they had truly vanished overnight. Maybe they are no longer in Chu. Should we do a carpet search of the entire particle world? Someone suggested. With so many Immortal Foundation experts, if they spent some time, the entire particle world would be covered by their immortal senses. Sure. Let's search the entire particle world. If we still can't find them, we will have to ask the Immortal King to act. The Immortal Foundation expert in the lead spoke. Yes. All the experts nodded. After distributing their missions, they set off in different directions. They actually wanted to search the entire particle world, sparing no expense to find Qin Wentian. However, they were destined to return empty-handed. Several days later, the various Immortal Foundation experts roamed the various corners of this particle world, yet they still couldn't find Qin Wentian's silhouette. The people from the Bai clan seemed to have vanished into thin air. Left with no other choice, he could only return to the Star River Association and send people to monitor the Sky Harmony City of Chu. When Qin Wentian returned from the Immortal Realms, he directly descended to the Sky Harmony City of Chu and landed at the location where the Bai clan was located. The Bai clan was still as empty as ever. Qin Wentian walked straight to the ground, and with a marvelous footwork, numerous runes suddenly lit up as terrifying rumbling sounds rang out. Below him a residence actually appeared. It was none other than the Bai clan. This residence was directly uprooted from the ground, returning to its original location. The people from the Bai clan, as well as Qin Wentian's close friends and family, were all there. This was something that the Star River Association would never have imagined even in their dreams. Wentian, the experts from the Star River Association have arrived. There are many of them. You have to leave immediately and head to the Immortal Realms. The Medicine Sovereign stared at Qin Wentian as he spoke, his words causing Qin Wentian's eyes to flicker. Fairy Qingmei also spoke. Everything here is probably being monitored. Qin Wentian, you have to leave immediately. If not, it would be too late. This grand formation might be able to deceive the heavens and the earth, but now it has already been exposed. The Star River Association has arrived? Qin Wentian asked. Seems like the Star River Association's actions were much faster than his. The experts from the Immortal Qianbian Gate should be on their way here as well. They're here. There are over 10 Immortal Foundation experts, and they seem to be extremely terrifying. We can't waste any more time, Mo Qingcheng replied. Don't worry, I brought a grand formation with me. Let's head to the outskirts of Sky Harmony City. This place is too small. Qin Wentian spoke. He controlled the formation and directly uprooted it from the ground. After which, under the shocked gazes of the people of Sky Harmony City, the Bai clan's residents flew towards the forest outside of Sky Harmony City. Only now did the people of Sky Harmony City understand that the relocation of the Bai clan was merely a smokescreen by Qin Wentian. The Bai clan and its people had always been here. Outside of Sky Harmony City, in an incomparably vast forest, Qin Wentian was once saved by Mo Qingcheng after he was injured. Staring at the forest, Qin Wentian smiled at Mo Qingcheng, who was beside him. Qingcheng, back then you saved me here. Yet you didn't show your face before leaving, causing me to misunderstand and think that it was someone else who saved me. At that time it was Little Rascal who brought me here. I chased after that fellow for a long time. Yet the moment he saw you, he immediately latched onto you. Mo Qingcheng glared at Little Rascal. This Baobao did it for the sake of the two of you. Little Rascal spoke in a satisfied manner. Qin Wentian and Mo Qingcheng both stared at him with disdain. Are we really not going to the Immortal Realms? and Mo Qingcheng held onto Qin Wentian's hand, feeling extremely worried. "Don't worry." Qin Wentian calmly smiled at her. After that, he took a step forward and with a wave of his hand, the 9 immortality bells appeared. Terrifying rumbling sounds rang out as the crowd only saw an incomparably gigantic ancient city appearing. This ancient city was extremely majestic and exuded a majestic aura. Each and every building was like a divine weapon, the work of the heavens. "Go!" Qin Wentian roared. Momentarily, the Drift's now ancient city enveloped the entire forest. Outside of Sky Harmony City, an ancient city appeared, the ancient Drift's now city. "Let's go down." Qin Wentian spoke. The people around him were all dumbfounded, their expressions filled with shock. Qin Wentian actually brought back a majestic ancient city. After returning from the immortal realms? He actually brought back a city? The people at the city gates of Sky Harmony City were similarly dumbfounded when they saw this scene. This news instantly swept through the entire Sky Harmony City, and countless people rushed to the outskirts of the city to take a look. Standing on top of the city walls, they stared at the ancient city where the immortals resided. They felt that Sky Harmony City was so dilapidated that it couldn't even be called a city. Is this something Qin Wentian brought back from the immortal realms? A city in the immortal realms can actually move? The people of Sky Harmony City had no way of imagining this. As for Qin Wentian's family and friends, they all landed in the ancient city. Fatty Fan Lu was exceptionally excited as he asked, "Boss, how did you obtain this city?" "This city is a heaven-connecting weaponized city. The land of this city is a divine weapon that contains boundless might. I obtained it by chance." Qin Wentian's words caused the people in the surroundings to draw in a breath of cold air. A weaponized city. The land of a city is a divine weapon. Can this city be attacked? The medicine sovereign asked. Naturally. Back then when I was at the celestial phenomenon realm, I could already unleash powerful attacks. Now that I'm an immortal, the might of this city is even stronger. Qin Wentian nodded. Back then, he borrowed the power of the Driftsnow city and killed immortals when he was at the celestial phenomenon realm. Seems like you already have a plan. The medicine sovereign nodded and didn't say anything more. Qin Wentian naturally knew what to do. The news of the appearance of the Bai residents was naturally received by the Star River Association. Hence, Qin Wentian didn't have to wait too long before the Immortal Foundation experts of the Star River Association arrived. They floated in the air, exuding a terrifying aura. When immortal might radiated from them, a brilliant light illuminated the sky, unexcelled in this world. Qin Wentian's will connected to the 9 immortality bells. He stood on top of the ancient bells as he coldly stared at the experts in the air. "Capture them," that Immortal Foundation expert in the lead directly commanded, not bothering to waste words with Qin Wentian. Rumble. Terrifying waves of immortal might erupted forth as the Immortal Foundation experts shone with resplendent light. Within the ancient city, countless runes flashed as immortal chains swept through the air, enveloping this entire space as they shot towards those Immortal Foundation experts. Slash. One of the Immortal Foundation experts was in the shape of a supreme sword, capable of destroying everything. He stood there like a supreme sword, frenziedly slashing towards the immortal chains. Rumble. Qin Wentian's body expanded, growing to a height of 10,000 meters, resembling a giant. An even more terrifying shadow appeared around him. Qin Wentian merely stood there, but this giant seemed to be tens of thousands of meters in size. With a single grab, the Immortal Foundation experts all retreated, only to see the entire ancient city glowing with a dazzling light. Boundless arrows of law energy appeared in the Driftsnow city, capable of slaying immortals. The Immortal Foundation experts unleashed their might, shattering the arrows. However, the gigantic palm imprint was too terrifying. It directly shot over, so large that there was no way to block it. One of the Immortal Foundation experts had no way to escape. He was directly grabbed by the gigantic palm imprint. After which, a scream of misery rang out as the Immortal Foundation expert was directly crushed to death. Retreat. The Immortal Foundation expert in the lead discovered that something was wrong. This city seemed to be the legendary Driftsnow city. Qin Wentian could borrow the power of the Driftsnow city to fight. In that case, although their Immortal Foundation experts had the advantage in numbers, it was useless. Those Immortal Foundation experts also sensed that something was wrong. Qin Wentian borrowed the power of the ancient city to unleash such terrifying power, only to see Qin Wentian controlling the gigantic body of the Immortal Foundation expert, pressing his palm down in the air. Instantly, a supreme sword might engulfed the heavens and earth, transforming into a towering sword chi tempest, wanting to bury everything within it. The Immortal Foundation expert in the lead soared up into the air. He had no time to care about the others. Kill! As the finger descended, a surge of immortal slaying sword might swept through the entire space. Piercing sounds rang out unceasingly as numerous Immortal Foundation experts had their Immortal Foundations shattered. Their bodies were destroyed, dying here. Even Immortal Foundation experts seemed so weak and fragile. From afar, in the direction of Sky Harmony City, those ordinary people felt their hearts trembling. Many of them were so frightened by the immortal might that they fled for their lives. However, there were also those who were more courageous, lying on the ground and watching the battle. Their hearts were filled with waves of shock. Was this really a power that the human wuxio could unleash? Chapter 1026. These immortals all stood in the air, exuding boundless might. With a flick of their fingers they could annihilate an entire city. If these immortals wanted to act, the so-called wuxio of Sky Harmony City would be killed like an ant. However, such powerful existences, lofty immortals, were all killed by Qin Wentian with a single strike. How shocking was this scene! The young man who walked out from Sky Harmony City tens of years ago was now standing at the peak of this world, able to kill immortals with a wave of his hand. Every time they thought of this, great waves of emotions would surge in their hearts. Heroes didn't matter where they came from. The young man from Sky Harmony City was still able to walk out and become the ruler of this world. From an emotional point of view, the people of Sky Harmony City naturally hoped that Qin Wentian would be victorious. He was a true legend of Sky Harmony City. This legend would let the entire world know the name of Sky Harmony City, becoming the symbol of Sky Harmony City. In the entire world, only their Sky Harmony City could produce such a character. No matter how strong the Star River Association was, to them they were just an external power. The immortal vanquishing swordplay was an immortal art, one that had an extremely powerful attack power. Back then, Qin Wentian had to exhaust all his energy every time he used it. But now, he was already a true immortal with a perfect saint-grade immortal foundation. In addition to borrowing the power of Drift's now city, how could a single strike from him be so powerful? Over 10 Immortal Foundation experts died before they could even finish their attacks. Some of them managed to escape. They stood in the air, staring at the frenzied sword might as their countenances turned incredibly ugly to behold. This time around, their Star River Association had sent over 10 Immortal Foundation experts to this particle world to capture Qin Wentian. Yet, Qin Wentian actually moved an entire ancient city over. Not only did they fail to capture him, they were even slaughtered so miserably. The battle had just begun and there were already so many casualties. How could they continue to fight? Go! The Immortal Foundation expert in the lead gave the order to retreat. The group of them soared up into the clouds, not daring to get close to Driftsnow City. This battle started quickly and ended even faster. In just an instant from the start to the end, over 10 Immortal Foundation experts had fallen. Only a short period of time had passed. The towering shadow that enveloped Qin Wentian vanished. Qin Wentian's gigantic body reverted back to its normal size as he donned a white robe. He coldly glanced at the departing experts from the Star River Association. These people would definitely not give up. However, the people from the Immortal Champion Gate should be arriving soon. What's wrong? Qin Wentian couldn't help but ask when he saw his family and friends looking at him. These people were all stunned. They couldn't believe that the godlike figure just now was the Qin Wentian they were familiar with. It was too unreal. I, Fatty, have suffered a blow. Fan Lu heaved a sigh of relief. No matter what, they were still companions who had joined the Emperor Star Academy to cultivate. But now he couldn't even look up to Qin Wentian anymore. Qin Wentian was simply too powerful, they were simply not on the same level. I really have no idea how you cultivate it. Fairy Qingmei also felt that she had aged. The members of the direct line of descent from Grand Xia all stared at Qin Wentian as though they were looking at a heavenly deity. This was their sovereign. How powerful was he? In this world there was no one who could match up to him. Boss, is there any way for me to become an immortal faster? Fatty Fan Lu walked to the side of Qin Wentian as his eyes flashed. There is. Qin Wentian seriously nodded his head. Really? What is it? Fatty's eyes shone with a bright light. Let me give you a good beating, you should feel like an immortal after that. Qin Wentian clenched his fists, causing cracking sounds to echo out. Momentarily, the people in the surroundings started laughing. Everyone, this ancient Drifts Now city is extremely vast. Feel free to choose any place you want to stay in, but try to stay in the central region as much as possible. Otherwise, when I borrow the power of the weaponized city, I might implicate all of you. Qin Wentian stared at the crowd as he spoke. The crowd nodded their heads as they dispersed, feeling somewhat strange. Although they were in a city, not only could the city move, it could also be used for combat. In Sky Harmony City, countless people stood on high vantage points or soared up into the air, staring at the majestic city in front of them. Victory, Qin Wentian won. He killed over 10 immortals. Qin Wentian of the Qin clan is unrivaled under the heavens. He is the sovereign of Granxia, the uncrowned king of Chu, and he came from our Sky Harmony City. Many experts sighed in admiration. They headed to the city and spread the news. The entire Sky Harmony City was in a state of jubilation, celebrating Qin Wentian's victory. The entire Sky Harmony City seemed to be cheering for Qin Wentian. How could they not feel proud that there was such a character in the Sky Harmony City? The news of this victory soon circulated around Chu and Granxia. In fact, even those in the Royal Sacred Region knew that the experts from the Star River Association had returned in defeat. They had lost over 10 Immortal Foundation experts, and the atmosphere in the headquarters of the Star River Association was incomparably heavy. This victory truly made the people of this particle world feel how powerful Qin Wentian was. He was a legend. The influence of this battle was also immense. Those people who worshipped the Star River Association as though they were gods felt their hearts wavering. This power from the immortal realms was actually defeated by Qin Wentian, who grew up in their particle world. This indicated that the Star River Association wasn't the absolute hegemon of this world yet. At the very least, they wouldn't be able to do so before they got rid of Qin Wentian. In various locations in this particle world, those who initially wanted to join the Star River Association started to waver. They were all watching from the sidelines. Right now, the Star River Association and Qin Wentian had already formed an irreconcilable grudge. Both sides couldn't tolerate the existence of the other. Before the final victor of this battle was determined, it was better for them to play it safe and not join the Star River Association. After this battle, many people started to rush in the direction of Sky Harmony City. Those from the Emperor Star Academy, Mustang, Chu Mang from the Royal Palace, all of them came to the ancient Drifts Now city where Qin Wentian resided. In this city, the majority of Qin Wentian's family and friends were gathered. He also felt a formless pressure. Because he was embroiled in a battle with the Star River Association, his family and friends could only rely on him. Once he was defeated, all of them would be destroyed. All of these would be his responsibility. In the territory of Granxia, in the direction of Chu, a group of white-robed women soared through the air. These women exuded an extraordinary aura, like celestials floating in the air. This was especially so for the woman in the lead. She had a veil covering her face, but just by looking at her graceful figure and perfect skin, one could faintly sense that she was a woman of unparalleled beauty. Currently Qin Wentian is embroiled in a storm. The Star River Association is evidently a major power in the immortal realms. If we go to Sky Harmony City now, wouldn't we be embroiled in it? Why don't we stay out of it? A woman stared at the veiled woman as she asked. Oi, don't you guys want to take a look at Qin Wentian? He's the most outstanding character in the history of our particle world. I've never heard of such a young immortal in our particle world before. What's more important is that he's so handsome. The voice of that woman contained hints of mischievousness, as her eyes flickered with a hint of flirtatiousness. But if the Star River Association doesn't give up, wouldn't it be very dangerous? The person at the side spoke. Don't worry, I'll just stay in Sky Harmony City and watch from afar. I won't join in. If not, people might think that I, Lin Xian, am trying to woo a man. The woman had a soul-stirring smile on her face as she continued. Even if he's the most outstanding young man in history, Lin Xian'er wouldn't take the initiative to chase after him. That's good then. Let's just stay in Sky Harmony City and watch. The person at the side spoke in a low voice. So it turned out that this veiled woman was none other than Lin Xian'er from the Celestial Maiden sect, the #1 beauty in the royal sacred region. Initially, she planned to wait until she was a little stronger before asking the medicine sovereign to send her to the immortal realms. Beautiful women were the source of trouble, and if she went to the immortal realms with her current beauty, it would only be a calamity for her. In Sky Harmony City there was an inn near the outskirts of the city. If one sat at the highest level of the inn, they would be able to see the majestic scene of the Driftsnow city outside. When Lin Xian'er and the others arrived, many people turned their gazes over. Is it possible for us to sit here? Lin Xian'er glanced at the excellent seats by the window as she spoke to the people seated there. Her gaze was soul-stirring, yet there was also the demeanor of a weak woman, as though she wanted to be protected by others. Those people immediately stood up and gave up their seats naturally. Ladies and fairies, please. Thank you. Lin Xian'er smiled. Although her face was covered by a veil, her smile still caused the heartbeats of those people to quicken. Lin Xian'er gazed at the majestic ancient city as she gently smiled. Is this the city? Qin Wentian's hometown should be the Sky Harmony City, right? That's right, Qin Wentian is a disciple of our Sky Harmony City. When he was young, because he couldn't cultivate, his marriage engagement with the Bai clan was broken off. However, Qin Wentian is magnanimous, and has long since resolved the grudges between him and the Bai clan, becoming a legendary character. Yeah, Qin Wentian is a legendary character of our Sky Harmony City. He stands at the peak of the entire world. Fairy, you must be a foreigner, right? With regards to Qin Wentian's legends, it would take even 3 days and 3 nights to finish talking about him. His marriage engagement was broken off, and after that, he went to the Emperor Star Academy to cultivate. Not only that, but he also became the monarch of Grand Xia. After that, with his help, the Medicine Sovereign Valley destroyed the hegemon of this world, the Royal Sacred Sect. He is a miracle, a legend. Everyone spoke one after another, narrating the glory of Qin Wentian. Boom! Abruptly, the entire inn trembled violently. The hearts of the people present also pounded violently as the voices stopped abruptly. What's going on? The countenances of the crowd were filled with terror. At this moment, an unparalleled pressure enveloped the entire heavens and earth, enveloping everyone in Sky Harmony City. Not only that, everyone in Chu had no choice but to submit in the face of this pressure. Bzzz. A resplendent screen of light abruptly shone from the ancient Driftsnow city. The crowd inclined their heads, only to see a silhouette clad in the violet gold robes of the Star River Association walking out from the air. He descended from the skies, exuding an unparalleled might as he stretched his palms downwards. His palms felt as though they could directly annihilate an entire city. Bang! The screen of light shattered as a world-destroying aura descended. That gigantic palm in the skies was like the decree of a divinity, capable of annihilating everything. All sound stopped at this moment. The entire Sky Harmony City fell into silence. Everyone stared in shock at this scene, feeling as though their souls were trembling. Chapter 1027. So strong. Silence filled the inn. Earlier, they were still chatting with confidence and composure. But now their countenances had all turned pale. That pressure was akin to heavenly might, capable of suppressing all living beings, causing many of them to directly prostrate themselves on the ground. Lin Xian'er's countenance drastically changed as she stared at the ancient Driftsnow city. That silhouette standing in the air was akin to a divinity. His might enveloped the heavens and earth, yet his attacks were all focused on a single point, not affecting any other areas. This kind of control was too terrifying. It was absolute control. Did the Star River Association send a supreme expert from the immortal realms? Before this, Qin Wentian had already sensed an intense sense of danger. His immortal sense entered the 9 immortality bells, causing the entire Driftsnow city to emit a protective screen of light. But under the might of this strike, the light screen shattered apart. Everyone in the city coughed out blood as their countenances turned pale. Qin Wentian also felt his entire body trembling violently. Buzz! There was basically no time for him to react. A terrifying palm shot through the air, wanting to slam into the ancient Drift Snow city. Arg! Bang! Qin Wentian coughed out a mouthful of blood. His body was bent over, unable to stand stably. He inclined his head and stared at the air, after which, he closed his eyes and formed an innate connection with the weaponized city created by the Drift Snow master. A weaponized city could be used as a weapon. Since it was a city, offense was secondary, defense was the priority. The entire Drift Snow city lit up as boundless runic light appeared, floating above the 9 immortality bell. This gigantic bell towered over the heavens and earth, flashing with boundless runic light as the bell chimes rang out unceasingly, shaking the world. The shadow of the ancient city was projected onto the 9 immortality bell, as though it was the strongest defense. Boom, boom, boom. The countenances of the expert in the air drastically changed. He who stood arrogantly in the air frenziedly blasted out attacks. This ancient Drift Snow city actually had such a level of defense? He actually couldn't break it apart? Only to see the silhouettes within the gigantic bell unceasingly suffering from the tremors. Although their defenses were all blocked by the bell, the tremor still caused them to feel incomparably unbearable. This was especially so for those with the weakest cultivation bases. Even the slightest tremor was sufficient to cause them to cough out blood. And as for Qin Wentian, he was the one bearing the brunt of the attack. His eyes were closed, his countenance was pale, but his immortal sense was still in the strongest state, not allowing this expert to break through. The immortal king of the Star River Association arrived first. In the air, that immortal king blasted his attacks for a long time, yet he discovered that he had no way to break through the gigantic bell. Stepping out, the heavens and earth trembled as a cold light flashed in his eyes. Behind him, the immortal foundation experts from the Star River Association appeared. Their countenances were all extremely unsightly to behold. The strongest defense of the Drift Snow city was actually so powerful? Qin Wentian, get the hell out here. That immortal king clad in resplendent robes spoke with arrogance. His voice seemed to fuse together with the heavens and earth, reverberating through the 9 immortality bell. Qin Wentian, get the hell out here. Qin Wentian, get the hell out here. The voice reverberated through the air. Qin Wentian opened his eyes and stared at the air as his countenance turned ashen. The Star River Association actually sent an immortal king to deal with me. They truly think highly of me. That immortal king's countenance was ice cold. A supreme might gushed forth from him as he abruptly descended, directly stepping onto the gigantic bell. Boom! A thunderous boom thundered out. Qin Wentian only felt his entire body shuddering violently. The Drift Snow city that was enveloped by the 9 immortality bells sank downwards into the ground, as the rumbling sounds continued unceasingly. Everyone within the city was trembling violently. That immortal king directly stood on top of the 9 immortality bell, lowering his head and staring at Qin Wentian as he spoke. Get the hell out here. Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared at the tyrannical gaze of that immortal king. After which, a cold smile appeared on his face. Using the might of an immortal king to bully people from a particle world. Don't you feel ashamed? Impudent. That immortal king stomped on the ground once more, causing the Drift Snow city to sink downwards. Qin Wentian's eyes were still as cold as ever as he stared at the immortal king. As long as the defenses of the 9 immortality bell weren't broken, even an immortal king would die sooner or later. Do you think I can't do anything to you just because you are cowering in there? That immortal king coldly laughed. He pointed to Sky Harmony City and spoke. This city is your hometown. You should have many friends here, right? Do you believe that I won't annihilate this entire city? Qin Wentian's heart trembled, but he still maintained a calm expression. At this moment he had to maintain his composure. The more he cared, the more likely this immortal king would use Sky Harmony City to threaten him. You are an immortal king, slaughtering mortals. Aren't you afraid of karma and karma? Qin Wentian coldly spoke. In addition, all my friends and family are in this Drift Snow city. Not a single one of them is outside. At my level, who wouldn't have sins on their hands? Although you are at the Immortal Foundation realm, you should have killed many lives before. As long as I don't annihilate a particle world, it wouldn't be considered a great sin. Karma. What does the lives of a mere city count for? That immortal king stomped on the ground again, causing the drifts now city to sink downwards. That immortal king coldly spoke. Are you really not going to come out? You want to sacrifice my friends and family for the people of my Sky Harmony City? How ridiculous, Qin Wentian continued. Is there really such a righteous person in this world? What you are doing is simply killing for no reason. Qin Wentian's heart was incomparably cold. He didn't expect that an immortal king would actually do such a thing just to force him to do so. He could only pretend that he didn't care at all. In any case, what he said was right. This immortal king had no reason to kill the people of Sky Harmony City. Humph, that immortal king seemed to have seen through his thoughts. He grabbed out with his palm and instantly, over 10 people were dragged into the air. Those people only felt their souls trembling as they screamed. Save you! The people of Sky Harmony City are nothing more than ants to me. I can kill them with a wave of my hand. Are you going to come out or not? That immortal king stared at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian's countenance didn't change. His heart was as hard as stone. The more he cared, the more the immortal king would kill. Kill! That immortal king clenched his fist, instantly causing those people to perish. The people of Sky Harmony City from afar felt their souls trembling when they saw this scene. They even forgot their anger. To this immortal king, the people of Sky Harmony City were nothing more than ants. If he wanted to kill them, he could do so with a wave of his hand. Qin Wentian could only watch helplessly as those people were killed. Although he was filled with towering rage, his expression was as calm as still water. He couldn't care less. The more he cared, the more ruthless the immortal king would be in killing them. Is there any meaning to you killing so many innocent people? I truly feel ashamed for you. Qin Wentian mocked. That immortal king stared at Qin Wentian. His emotionless expression was filled with disregard for life and death. He lifted his palm and blasted it towards the distance. Terrifying rumbling sounds rang out as more people died. You really don't care about the lives of these people? That immortal king stared downwards. Are you stupid or am I stupid? Would I sacrifice myself for the sake of others? Qin Wentian replied. There's actually someone who didn't run. Look at her eyes, she seems to be worried about you. That immortal king coldly laughed. Qin Wentian furrowed his brows. After which, that immortal king stretched out his hand and grabbed out again. Very swiftly, a figure appeared in the air. This figure was like a celestial maiden, extremely beautiful. At this moment, the veil covering her face was removed by the immortal king, revealing a breathtaking countenance. However, her countenance had already lost all color. Lin Xian. Qin Wentian's expression turned heavy. Why would Lin Xianer appear here? Very beautiful. Even among the fairies of the immortal realms, there aren't many women as beautiful as her. Don't tell me you guys don't know her? That immortal king coldly laughed. How powerful was his immortal sense? Earlier, every movement of the entire Sky Harmony City was within his grasp. He didn't miss out on the expressions of these people. Lin Xianer didn't seem to feel any fear at all. She was staring in his direction with worry and nervousness. Qin Wentian's heart turned cold. Immortal kings were truly powerful. So it turned out that he had a motive. At the same time he attacked, his immortal sense was also scanning the surroundings, wanting to find someone he was familiar with. I'm indeed acquainted with this woman. She's extremely famous and is a rare beauty. Qin Wentian continued. But look at this city of mine. Beauties are as common as the clouds. In this particle world, I, Qin, have many admirers of me, especially those outstanding ones. Is it strange for her to have such a worried expression on her face? In that case, your luck with women isn't bad. That immortal king stared at him. After that, he waved his hand and tossed Lin Xian to the Immortal Foundation experts behind him. It's rare for there to be such a beauty in this country bumpkin world. You guys have it easy. Go back and enjoy yourself. Senior, this little girl isn't acquainted with him. You are a supreme existence of the immortal realms. Why must you make things difficult for me? Lin Xianer spoke in a weak voice. Her voice and expression are both extremely alluring. You guys are truly lucky. That immortal king emotionlessly spoke. His tone was as cold as ice, disregarding everything. In his eyes, the lives of people in this particle world were like grass. Not worth a mention. All of them were like ants. Many thanks, Immortal King. The Immortal Kings behind him bowed, grabbing Lin Xian as they departed. Qin Wentian saw Lin Xian turning her gaze in his direction. A look of despair could be seen in her beautiful eyes. You can come out after you've thought it through. That Immortal King stared at Qin Wentian. With another step he vanished from sight. Qin Wentian clenched his fists tightly. He couldn't forget the look in Lin Xian's eyes when she left. The Immortal Kings all came over, their countenances pale. They stared at Qin Wentian. Wentian, you have to leave. Head to the Immortal Realms. I will definitely avenge this debt. Qin Wentian's eyes were as cold as ice. Back then Lin Xian had shown him kindness. Back then in the Immortal Martial Realm, she had helped Yi Lingshuang and Ouyang Guangxing. Lin Xian, Ouyang Guangxing wanted to say something but hesitated. He was incomparably angry in his heart. To think that Immortal Kings are so despicable. She basically doesn't have the people of this world in her eyes. Fairy Qingmei coldly spoke, treating the people of this particle world like ants. Wentian, you have to leave. Quickly think of a way to leave. We've arrived. Qin Wentian's eyes were as cold as ice. The gazes of everyone turned to Qin Wentian. They didn't know what Qin Wentian meant by this. At this moment they could only leave. There was no other choice. Qingcheng, persuade Wentian. Fairy Qingmei spoke to Imo Qingcheng. However, at this moment, Qin Wentian's killing intent towered up into the sky. He inclined his head and stared at the sky only to see numerous experts descending from the heavens. Chapter 1028. Qin Wentian stared at the silhouettes descending from the air, his eyes gleaming with sharpness. They've finally arrived. In Sky Harmony City, countless people inclined their heads and stared at the silhouettes in the air. They had yet to recover from the earlier shock, and now they saw another group of Immortal Foundation experts descending from the sky. Their hearts trembled violently. Who were these people exactly? In the ancient Driftsnow City, everyone inclined their heads as well. Imo Qingcheng hadn't even persuaded Qin Wentian yet, when they saw the experts descending from the air, heading directly towards the ancient city. Their hearts were filled with trepidation. Could it be that they were from the Star River Association? If that was the case, then it was truly over. There was no hope at all. However, what did Qin Wentian mean when he said they've arrived earlier? There was a high possibility that these people weren't from the Star River Association. It was as though Qin Wentian already knew that they would come. Who were they exactly? Rumble, rumble, rumble. Immortal light flashed as these people landed outside the 9 immortality bells. The person in the lead had a terrifying gaze that contained an overwhelming might. Despite being separated by the 9 immortality bells, everyone felt their hearts trembling when they saw the look in his eyes. They stopped above the 9 immortality bells. It's over, Qin Wentian is going to be completely annihilated. The people of Sky Harmony City felt their hearts trembling in fear. This group of experts was even more numerous compared to those from the Star River Association. Such a powerful lineup could be said to be extremely terrifying. Were they also sent by the Star River Association to deal with Qin Wentian? If that was the case, Qin Wentian would truly be dead for sure. There was no hope he would die for sure. Would a legendary character of a generation die here? But at this moment, the light from the 9 immortality bell abruptly vanished. The 9 immortality bell was no longer a towering ancient bell, but had returned to its original position. The entire Driftsnow City appeared there, and upon seeing this scene, the hearts of everyone trembled. What was going on? Had Qin Wentian gone mad? Had he already given up all hope, knowing that he had no chance of survival and wanted to surrender? The experts that descended from the skies stood in various locations. Their gazes landed on Qin Wentian, only to see Qin Wentian floating in the air as his eyes gleamed with sharpness. Young Master Qin. Many Immortal Foundation experts bowed to Qin Wentian. The might of the heavens and earth manifested together with his voice, containing a fearsome might. The Immortal Foundation spoke at the same time. Their voices converged into a powerful might that permeated through this entire space. Just a single voice was enough to cause the bodies of everyone to tremble uncontrollably. In the ancient Driftsnow City, Qin Wentian's family and friends all felt that this was a surreal scene. Those experts who descended from the sky were all experts from the immortal realms. All of them bowed to Qin Wentian with incomparable respect as they called out in unison, "Young Lord Qin." Was this really the Qin Wentian they knew? Was this really Qin Wentian, the junior they had watched grow up, or the partner they had grown up with? Great waves of shock rose up in their hearts, feeling that this was a little surreal. It was one thing that Qin Wentian had broken through to Immortal Foundation, but a group of experts from the immortal realms actually bowed to him and addressed him as Young Lord Qin. The people of Sky Harmony City also felt their hearts trembling as they stared at the immortals. Is this real? Did my eyes see wrongly? Heavens, these people are all immortals. Qin Wentian of Sky Harmony City, what achievements did he have exactly in the immortal realms? Their hearts pounded madly as they rubbed their eyes unceasingly, as though they wanted to see more clearly. Qin Wentian, can you quickly save Xian? A voice drifted over. It was none other than the woman from the Celestial Maiden sect who came together with Lin Xian. Qin Wentian, Lin Xian is secretly in love with you. Seeing that you are acquainted with each other, can you go and save her? Someone begged. Don't worry, the Star River Association will pay a price for their actions. Qin Wentian's eyes turned cold. The Immortal King in the lead glanced at Qin Wentian. Young Lord Qin, please give the order. Okay. Get your men to guard this particle world. Don't let a single one of them escape. As for the others, immediately head to the headquarters of the Star River Association and surround them. Don't let them harm that woman. She's my friend. Move out immediately and wait for my orders. Qin Wentian commanded. Yes, young Lord Qin. Everyone replied. An immortal king radiated a terrifying might as a surge of energy instantly enveloped those Immortal Foundation experts. With a step out, he soared through the void and vanished from their sight. You guys temporarily have to bear with it. I will store the ancient city into the 9 immortality bells to prevent any accidents from happening. Qin Wentian stared at Mo Qingcheng and the others. He only stepped out after these experts landed because he was afraid that an accident might occur. After all, the other party had immortal kings, and immortal kings were too dangerous. If they were the slightest bit careless, all of them might fall into the hands of their enemies. At that time, no matter how strong their forces were, it would be useless. Don't worry. We know. Everyone nodded. They naturally understood the severity of the situation. Qin Wentian's will connect it to the 9 immortality bells. This bell was the soul of the entire Drift Snow City. A bright light flashed as the entire Drift Snow City was sucked into it. It was as though it possessed the ability to control space. Let's move out. Qin Wentian stared at the Immortal King in the lead as he spoke. Right? That Immortal King nodded. After which, he brought Qin Wentian with him as they also vanished from sight. In just a short instant, the entire Drift Snow City, as well as the experts from the Star River Association, had completely vanished from the vision of the people of Sky Harmony City. Kill everyone from the Star River Association. The people of Sky Harmony City all had expressions of agitation on their faces. The people from the Star River Association treated them like ants, hence they wanted to kill them. Qin Wentian definitely wanted to annihilate them all. How hateful. I have no way to personally witness this battle. I really want to see the death of that immortal king. How lofty he was when he disregarded the lives of others. Qin Wentian must have become the young lord of a supreme power in the immortal realms. Everyone refers to him as young Master Qin, and he would definitely be able to destroy that immortal king. Many people in Sky Harmony City were extremely agitated, wanting nothing more than to personally witness this heaven-shaking battle. Qin Wentian isn't a good person, right? Earlier, he chose to ignore us and watch us die. Someone spoke with hatred in his voice. Are you so noble? Qin Wentian is also a human. All his friends and family are still alive. The moment he stepped out, he wouldn't be the only one to die. His friends and family would all be buried together with him. Can you do that? Someone scolded. As for being indifferent, that's the real reason. Once he revealed his relationship with the people of Sky Harmony City, would that immortal king spare us? I'm afraid that he would really start a massacre to force Qin Wentian to come out. That person's countenance stiffened as he nodded his head. You are right. Who has the qualifications to force Qin Wentian to abandon his family? We can only hate the despicable people of the Star River Association. It's best if we kill them all. The maidens from the Celestial Maiden sect all had nervous expressions on their faces. One of them asked, "Will Xian'er be all right?" "She won't. Qin Wentian is Xian'er's friend. Earlier he was helpless, but now that there are so many experts here, he would definitely do his best to save Xian." A person beside her seriously replied. But in truth, he was also extremely nervous as his body trembled. He could only wait in anticipation. At this moment, the atmosphere in the Star River Association had already reached a state of mutual hostility. In the airspace above the Star River Association, several experts from the Star River Association were holding Lin Xian'er captive, staring at the experts in the surroundings. Above them, a terrifying pressure bore down on them, sealing off their path of retreat. When Lin Xian'er was captured, she was initially filled with despair. But when she saw a group of experts suddenly appearing at the Star River Association and surrounding this place, hope reignited in her heart. However, she still didn't understand what was going on. What was going on exactly? Busy. Another beam of light flashed as two silhouettes appeared. One was a terrifyingly imposing character, while the other was none other than Qin Wentian. Lin Xian'er's beautiful eyes flashed with a strange light. It was Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian had actually arrived. Below, the experts from the Star River Association felt their hearts trembling as they stared at the powerful formation in the air. From afar, the spectators from the Royal Sacred Region were all trembling. What exactly was going on? Was that young man Qin Wentian? Let us leave this place. If not, I will take her life. That immortal king from the Star River Association coldly spoke, pointing at Lin Xian'er. He understood that the current situation was extremely disadvantageous to them. Listen to my command. Kill all the members of the Star River Association below without mercy, Qin Wentian coldly commanded. Yes. The Immortal Foundation experts rushed downwards. Instantly, a wave of destructive might bore down on the headquarters of the Star River Association in the Royal Sacred Region. Screams of misery rang out as someone shouted, "Immortal King, save me!" However, that immortal king's countenance was as cold as ice. Qin Wentian similarly didn't even glance at the people below. His countenance was as cold as ice. Killing the people of Sky Harmony City to threaten him? Fine then, you can kill all the innocent people in Sky Harmony City. Don't spare a single person from the Star River Association. It's over. The Star River Association is finished. The spectators from afar felt their souls trembling. They still didn't understand what was happening. Who were these experts? Qin Wentian, what status did he have exactly? He actually ordered the immortals to kill the experts of the Star River Association? You really don't care about her life and death? That immortal king pointed at Lin Xian'er. You're right. I'm acquainted with her. A lofty immortal king actually dared to use innocent people to threaten me? Very well then, all of you better listen up. Unless you don't have a powerful background, as long as a single strand of hair falls from her, I swear that I will find out who your family members are and make them suffer miserably. I'm a man of my words. Qin Wentian's cold gaze swept over the Immortal Foundation experts before landing on that immortal king. Including you. Release her. Qin Wentian's voice was ice cold. Do you think that's possible? That immortal king's countenance was as cold as ever. I'll exchange with her. Qin Wentian spoke, his words causing the expressions of everyone to freeze. Even Lin Xian'er's beautiful eyes froze as she stared dumbfoundedly at Qin Wentian. Such a supreme character actually wanted to exchange with her. Chapter 1029. The Immortal King from the Star River Association smiled at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian wanted to exchange with Lin Xian'er? This naturally wasn't a problem. To him, Lin Xian'er wasn't important. She was merely someone from a particle world. But as long as he captured Qin Wentian, everything would be resolved. These people wouldn't dare to touch them. Fine, I agree to the exchange. Come over here, I will immediately hand her over. That immortal king stared at Qin Wentian. Young Master Qin, you can't exchange. The people from the Immortal Qinbian Gate frowned. With Qin Wentian's status, it was truly unsuitable for him to exchange with someone from a particle world. The Star River Association's goal was to capture Qin Wentian, and they even sent out immortal kings. It was just that they didn't expect Qin Wentian to use the Driftsnow city to block their attack. If not, they would have already captured Qin Wentian and left the particle world. Right now, Qin Wentian had walked right into their trap. This was an extremely dangerous matter. After the immortal king captured Qin Wentian, he would directly leave the particle world and head to the immortal realms. At that time it wouldn't be so easy to capture him. Listen to me. Qin Wentian spoke. Those immortal kings fell silent. Lin Xian'er's beautiful eyes stared at Qin Wentian. After that, a smile actually appeared on her face as she stared at Qin Wentian. Sir Qin Xian'er's life isn't as precious as yours. Princess Qin, please don't worry about Xian'er. If Xian'er dies here, just take revenge for me. Shut up. The immortal king who captured her coldly snorted. With a flick of his hand, Lin Xian'er's sleeves were torn apart, revealing her snow-white skin. Lin Xian'er's beautiful eyes flashed as her countenance drastically changed. I won't kill you, but I can make sure you are completely naked. Do you believe me? That immortal foundation expert threatened. Qin Wentian stared at him. Trust me, you are dead for sure. That immortal foundation expert stared at Qin Wentian as he coldly spoke. Seems like you care a lot about her. In that case, I really want to see how you will kill me. His immortal might enveloped Lin Xian'er. With just a single thought, he could take her life. Even if immortal kings were here, it would be extremely difficult to save her unless they could kill him in an instant. Killing him directly without leaving a single trace, not even leaving a single trace. Do you want to trade or not? The immortal king from the Star River Association coldly asked. Yes, but when I go there, she also wants to come over. Qin Wentian's expression was cold. No way. Immortal kings can traverse a great distance with a single step. If the two of you act at the same time, what if the two of you snatch them away? If you want to exchange people, you have to come over first. I guarantee that I will release them. That immortal king wasn't someone who was easy to deal with. The threat posed by immortal kings was too great. If Qin Wentian and Lin Xian'er were to stand in the middle, the immortal king might suddenly attack and they would be caught unprepared. You dare to use the lives of innocent people to threaten me? Such a despicable person, do you think you are trustworthy? Qin Wentian stared at the immortal king as he spoke. Compared to you, she's completely useless to me. If I capture you, why would I still keep her? It's up to you whether you want to trade or not. The immortal king from the Star River Association was as calm as ever. Fine, I will trade. Qin Wentian stepped out, moving towards the immortal king who captured Lin Xian'er. Come over to my side. That immortal king from the Star River Association spoke. Qin Wentian's strength wasn't weak. He wouldn't feel at ease if he were to walk over to the immortal king. Sure. Qin Wentian slowly stepped out, moving closer and closer to that immortal king. At this instant, the atmosphere abruptly grew tense, as though a terrifying battle could erupt at any moment. At this moment, as long as one of them made the slightest movement, a great battle would erupt. Lin Xian'er's beautiful eyes stared at Qin Wentian, feeling moved in her heart. Although she was once friends with Qin Wentian, that was already over 20 years ago. Too much time had passed, and that relationship wasn't very deep. In fact, it could even be forgotten. This was especially so when Qin Wentian returned. He was an Immortal Foundation expert and could easily slay Immortal Foundation experts. He was a character similar to the Sacred Emperor of the Royal Sacred Sect back then. In addition, not long ago, he used the ancient city to slay over 10 Immortal Foundation experts from the Star River Association. Right now there was an Immortal King, a supreme power in the immortal realms. Immortals descended to this particle world and listened to Qin Wentian's commands, referring to him as Young Master Qin. What sort of status was this? And now he wanted to trade with her? Sir Qin, why must you treat Xian'er like this? Lin Xian'er's voice was gentle, but she sighed in her heart. Once, she only dreamt of marrying a supreme character like the 8 era-suppressing geniuses of the past. But now, the 8 era-suppressing geniuses had already become a thing of the past. Qin Wentian was countless times more outstanding compared to them. Such a character was actually willing to trade with her? Xian'er once helped me. In addition, aren't we friends? How can I watch as you suffer because of me? Qin Wentian spoke to Lin Xian'er. But when he was halfway there, he suddenly halted. I've already come all the way here. Can I release her now? At this moment, numerous immortal might envelop Qin Wentian. The immortal kings from the Star River Association and the immortal Qinbian Gate were all accumulating their energy. If either of them moved, the other party would react as well. Hence, only Qin Wentian could move now. That Immortal Foundation expert glanced at the Immortal King from the Star River Association. The Immortal King shot him a glance and he released Lin Xian'er. Qin Wentian continued walking forwards, moving towards Lin Xian'er's location. What are you doing? The Immortal King from the Star River Association asked. I'm going to trade with her. I need to ensure that nothing happens to her. Qin Wentian glanced at the Immortal King. He abruptly stepped out, moving towards the Immortal Foundation expert who was holding Lin Xian'er captive. That Immortal Foundation expert furrowed his brows. That Immortal King snorted coldly and stepped out, moving towards Qin Wentian. At this moment, the target of everyone was Qin Wentian. Release her. Qin Wentian abruptly roared at the Immortal Foundation expert who was holding Lin Xian'er captive. Stepping out, the might of his Immortal Foundation gushed forth. That Immortal Foundation expert snorted coldly and similarly erupted forth. Courting death. That Immortal King appeared behind Qin Wentian and directly blasted out a finger strike, blasting into Qin Wentian. The destructive might instantly gushed into Qin Wentian, wanting to destroy his Immortal Foundation. How dare you? Numerous roars rang out at the same time. A resplendent immortal light radiated forth as a fearsome defensive might manifested around Qin Wentian. A silhouette stepped out from him as a terrifying might engulfed the heavens and earth. Terrifying to the extreme. Immortal sense. The countenance of the Immortal King from the Star River Association changed as his heart sank. He knew that he had been tricked. Qin Wentian was intentionally luring him to act. He involuntarily shouted, "Careful!" His voice was directed at the Immortal Foundation expert who was holding Lin Xian'er captive. At this moment, everyone's attention was on Qin Wentian, focusing on his immortal sense. A beam of black-colored destructive light shot forth, akin to true light, instantly drilling into the mind of that Immortal Foundation expert. In just an instant, the mind of that Immortal Foundation expert was completely destroyed. His thoughts ceased as an Immortal King stepped out, bringing Lin Xian'er away. As for the other Immortal King, he took a step forward and appeared before Qin Wentian, enveloping him with his immortal might. In the air, that Immortal King also descended from the air. In just an instant, this entire space seemed to be sealed as a suffocating destructive might enveloped everyone. Qin Wentian and Lin Xian'er were both brought away by an Immortal King, leaving the battlefield. At this moment Lin Xian'er was still in a daze. Everything happened too quickly. She couldn't even see the actions of the Immortal Kings clearly. Everything ended in the time it took for sparks to fly off a flint. She was pulled away by Qin Wentian as an Immortal King stood in front of them, protecting them. Xian'er, everything is fine now. Qin Wentian smiled at the dazed Lin Xian'er. Lin Xian'er's beautiful eyes were still in a daze as she gradually regained her senses. She had always been very strong, but only at that moment did she truly feel how weak she was. She could be trampled on by others, completely helpless to do anything. It was only at this moment that she felt a sense of being protected. Such a feeling was truly good. However, at this moment, Qin Wentian had already released her hand. She actually felt a faint sense of disappointment in her heart. In the battlefield, that Immortal King was surrounded. His eyes stared at the immortal sense that appeared before him. His attacks were sufficient to destroy Qin Wentian's life. This immortal sense was truly a protective immortal sense. It was sufficient to protect Qin Wentian's life. Are you Senior Emperor Qinbian? That Immortal King asked. Since you knew it was me, you still dared to act against him. Seems like you guys have been doing this intentionally all along. The Emperor Qinbian's eyes were exceptionally cold. Junior is only acting on orders. I hope that Emperor Qinbian can show mercy. That Immortal King spoke weakly. Qin Wentian, you decide. The Emperor Qinbian's immortal sense turned in the direction of Qin Wentian. His gaze landed on Lin Xian'er, who was beside Qin Wentian, causing Lin Xian'er to feel nervous. Emperor Qinbian. an existence that even immortal kings would respectfully refer to as senior. What sort of character was this? She simply couldn't imagine it. Kill. Qin Wentian's voice was as cold as ice. The Emperor Qianbian turned his head. Kill? Yes. His subordinates obeyed. A terrifying screen of light appeared, locking down the entire battlefield. The destructive might of a battle between immortal kings was simply too terrifying, sufficient to destroy the entire sacred royal city. Only they could take the initiative to control the battlefield. You actually wasted the protection of the Emperor Qianbian's immortal sense for the sake of a woman from a particle world? This is a life. That immortal king from the Star River Association roared in rage at Qin Wentian. At this moment, a terrifying tempest manifested, causing the earth to tremble. The entire Star River Association seemed to be uprooted. This tempest of destruction was like the end of the world. The spectators from afar all stared at this scene with trepidation in their hearts. Boom! This tempest swept up into the sky. The entire space was lifted up by the might of a human, and in an instant, the entire Star River Association vanished from sight. Inclining his head, a destructive light radiated forth. The entire sacred royal city could see it. At this instant, everyone inclined their heads and stared up at the sky. Over there, an immortal battle was currently erupting. Emperor Qian'er's immortal sense protects a life. Lin Xian'er glanced at Qin Wentian, who was beside her. Right now, Qin Wentian's head was inclined upwards, staring at the skies. That handsome countenance of his was even more outstanding compared to the past. A radiant smile appeared on Lin Xian'er's face. With such an experience in her life, Lin Xian'er didn't live her life in vain. There was actually a supreme existence in the immortal realms who would kill for her. In the entire particle world, there shouldn't be any other woman who could enjoy such treatment, right? Chapter 1030. Although this destructive storm lasted very quickly, it also ended very quickly. Not too long after, the entire sacred royal city was engulfed in a chaotic storm. There were people everywhere trying to evade, and at the location of the headquarters of the Star River Association, a group of experts descended from the sky. As for the experts from the Star River Association, they had all been killed. After all, the disparity in strength between both sides was too great. Have all those experts died? The hearts of the people in the surroundings trembled. Those were all immortals, and one of them was a lofty immortal king. Yet now, they actually vanished from this particle world. The Star River Association was directly uprooted. Everyone stared at Qin Wentian, who was standing in the air. Never would they have thought that because of Qin Wentian, such a terrifying tempest would erupt in this particle world. The Emperor Qianbian's immortal sense had yet to vanish. He appeared before Qin Wentian and spoke. This matter won't be so simple. You have to leave this particle world immediately. Qin Wentian nodded. Before this, there was an immortal king who came to this particle world to deal with him. Qin Wentian also sensed that this tempest wouldn't be so simple. Although he had a grudge with the Star River Association, it wasn't to the extent of them paying such a price. Once, the Star River Association's influence spread throughout the entire particle world, but they were all uprooted by him. However, this was merely a particle world. To the Star River Association, it wasn't considered much. It was said that the Star River Association had countless particle powers, and was an extremely powerful power. Before this particle world didn't even have a single immortal foundation expert. Now so many experts were sent out. Was it so simple just to occupy a particle world? Xian'er, come with me to the immortal realms. After all, I don't know if the Star River Association would act against you. Qin Wentian spoke to Lin Xian'er, who was beside him. I'll listen to you. Lin Xian'er nodded lightly. She had always wanted to head to the immortal realms. Now that Qin Wentian was bringing her along, she was naturally willing. Let's go. A group of experts soared up into the air. But just as they soared up into the air, a terrifying might bore down on them. A group of figures abruptly appeared in front of them. These people seemed to have rushed here from outside the particle world, intercepting Qin Wentian and the others. These people all had unkind expressions on their faces. The pressure they exuded was tyrannical to the extreme, but they were a step too late. An immortal king had already fallen in this particle world. Although the two sides were far apart, the pressure had already descended, crossing the void and staring at each other from afar. Has the Star River Association joined forces with the Dongshengshan Gate? The Emperor Qianbian's immortal sense hadn't dissipated yet as he coldly spoke. Senior Monarch, your words are too serious. The Star River Association needs to take control of this particle world, and our Dongshengshan Gate is here to capture Qin Wentian. This man killed many experts of our Dongshengshan Gate. Our Dongshengshan Gate will definitely capture him back. An immortal king from the Dongshengshan Gate replied. Seems like the Dongshengshan Gate has always been looking for an opportunity to start a war with my immortal Qianbian Gate. This time it just so happens to be an opportunity. The Emperor Qianbian coldly laughed. Back then, he had seized 6 out of the 13 prefectures from the hands of the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor. How could the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor swallow this anger? Both sides had many small conflicts, but there had yet to be a grand war. But now, it seemed like the Dongshengshan Gate couldn't endure it any longer and wanted to act. Senior, don't forget the agreement. If there is a war, immortal emperors are not allowed to participate. The immortal king of the Dongshengshan Gate continued. No matter what, the Cloud Prefecture is the territory of my immortal Qianbian Gate. This particle world should be under the control of my immortal Qianbian Gate. Seems like you guys are very confident in yourselves by coming here to wage war. The Emperor Qianbian spoke in a cold voice. In the air, several figures suddenly appeared. All of them exuded an extremely terrifying might. All of them were immortal kings. For the sake of a mere particle world, the Emperor Qianbian actually made so many preparations. The immortal king of the Dongshengshan Gate swept his gaze over everyone, as though he was estimating the combat strength of both sides. Aren't you guys the same as well? Seems like even if you managed to capture Qin Wentian, you guys wouldn't be able to travel far. In the surrounding worlds of this particle world, you guys should have long prepared experts from all over the world, ready to fight against my immortal Qianbian Gate, right? The Emperor Qianbian calmly spoke. Yet his words caused Qin Wentian's heart to tremble. He didn't expect that the storm he caused would grow so great that 2 immortal sects would start a war. Qianbian, you are truly intelligent. At this moment, an incomparably gigantic illusory figure suddenly appeared in the air. This illusory figure projected down from the heavens, causing the entire particle world to be able to see this gigantic projection at this moment. Eastern Sage. The Emperor Qianbian inclined his head. This shadow was none other than the projection of the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor. Qianbian, since you want my 6 prefectures, prepare for war. I truly want to see what capabilities you, Qianbian, have to be so confident in wanting my territory. The voice of the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor drifted down from the sky. After that, his gaze landed on Qin Wentian. The eyes of the illusory Qianbian Gate flickered with a cold killing intent. Qin Wentian. The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor was an immortal emperor character. To him, immortal foundation experts were nothing more than ants. However, Qin Wentian was an immortal foundation character that caused him to truly feel killing intent. This wasn't the first time Qin Wentian smacked his face. During the 100-year immortal banquet of the Dongshengshan Gate, Qin Wentian rejected him to take him as a master, humiliating him. In the city of ancient emperors, Qin Wentian killed his personal disciple, as well as over 300 geniuses of his Dongshengshan Gate. The timing of your return to this particle world is truly coincidental. In that case, we can settle this once and for all. There's no need to capture this man, just kill him directly. The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor commanded. Yes, the experts of the Dongshengshan Gate acknowledged. Everyone in this particle world inclined their heads, staring at the shadow of the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor in the air. This was an immortal emperor character, who appeared in this particle world many years ago. This immortal emperor had once accepted a disciple, but he rejected Qin Wentian. Now, he descended here again to kill Qin Wentian. Seems like Qin Wentian must have joined the tutelage of a supreme existence. In addition, this supreme existence was someone who stood in opposition to the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor. In the air, boundless beams of light shot out as numerous experts descended. Their bodies were incomparably gigantic. All of them were over 10,000 meters in size, and there were even some that were over 100,000 meters in size. They stood in the air above this particle world. as though they wanted to envelop the entire particle world within them. These experts were all immortal kings, and a majority of them were immortal kings of the Dongshangshan Gate. The Star River Association seemed to be standing behind the scenes, allowing the Dongshangshan Gate to take charge of the battle. Everyone in this particle world stared at the supreme figures in the air and felt that doomsday was about to arrive. This was too terrifying. These people stood in the air, and the entire world was enveloped by them. For immortal kings, their bodies could change size at will. They didn't need to cultivate any special immortal arts and could simply transform their bodies, allowing them to fight in different forms. In the air, beams of light descended as a terrifying void tempest manifested. Numerous figures directly stepped out from the tempest, moving towards the direction of the Emperor Qianbian, standing in different locations. After that, they all transformed into their gigantic forms, facing off against the experts of the Dongshangshan Gate. Clearly, they came from the immortal Qianbian Gate. This is madness. If a war breaks out, the entire world will be destroyed. The initial excitement and anticipation in the hearts of the people from the particle world gradually turned into fear. There were simply too many of these experts, filling the airspace of the particle world. These experts were like divinities, causing the people of the particle world to feel how insignificant they were. In front of these experts, they were as insignificant as ants. At this moment, they truly felt a sense of danger. This battle was sufficient to destroy the entire particle world. Eastern Sage. At this moment, Qin Wentian stared at the air as he spoke. Although his voice wasn't loud, he believed that Eastern Sage would be able to hear his voice. There's nothing much to say about the grudges between us. However, there's no need for a world to be buried together with us in this battle. The destruction of a world is a truly great sin. How about we fight in the starry space? Qin Wentian stared at the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor as he spoke. In the surroundings of the immortal realms, there were countless particle worlds. Each of these particle worlds had countless lives, and there were even billions of people in them. Causing the destruction of a particle world was no different from slaughtering the entire world. In the immortal realms, this was also considered a great sin. When supreme experts fought, they would avoid destroying a particle world. This sin can't be pinned on me. If this particle world is destroyed because of this, Qin Wentian, you have a huge responsibility. The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor coldly spoke, his eyes filled with no emotions at all. He was a lofty immortal emperor. The people of this world were like ants to him. A particle world, a country bumpkin world, he basically didn't have them in his eyes. If he didn't participate in this battle, the sin wouldn't be pinned on him. In addition, even if he did, he, Eastern Sage, had lived for so many years and was already an immortal emperor. What did he have to fear? In the entire immortal realms, there weren't many people who could shake him. Why would he care about the sin of a particle world? Qin Wentian only felt his entire body turning cold. His eyes flashed with boundless killing intent as he stared at the gigantic Qin Emperor in the air. This was a lofty immortal emperor. The lives of the people of this particle world were nothing to him. The people of this particle world all heard the voice of the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor. They inclined their heads and stared at the gigantic figure, their eyes filled with rage. Although they didn't hear what Qin Wentian said, from his words, they could guess that Qin Wentian didn't want a war to happen in this particle world. However, the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor actually rejected it. Pressure, the entire world felt a sense of pressure. At this instant, the people of this particle world all tensed up. A great war was about to erupt at any moment. But if the war really started, how destructive would it be? Eastern Sage, if you give the order to start a war in this particle world today, if I, Qin Wentian, don't die today, I will definitely annihilate your entire clan. Qin Wentian clenched his fists tightly. The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor had disdain for the lives of everyone in this world. In his eyes, everyone in this particle world was nothing but ants. Kill! The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor spat out a single word after he heard Qin Wentian's words. His killing intent was extremely terrifying. Chapter 1031. Eastern Sage. Qin Wentian roared in rage. The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor gave the order to kill, completely disregarding the lives of countless people in this particle world. Rumble. A destructive might instantly envelop the entire particle world. How powerful were immortal kings? They transformed into heavenly deity-like giants, standing tall in the air. When the immortal kings unleashed their might at the same time, it was sufficient to cause the entire particle world to feel an unparalleled pressure. At this instant, the people of this particle world all trembled. This might was too terrifying. They truly felt how weak they were. Those heavenly deity-like figures standing in the air were akin to divinities, yet also akin to devils. Nobody bothered with Qin Wentian. The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor had already given the order to kill, and the battle instantly erupted. Those heavenly deity-like giants that were tens of thousands of meters in height stepped out, traversing vast distances with a single step. It was simply too terrifying. Although their bodies were incomparably gigantic, their speed didn't slow down at all. The distance they could traverse with a single step was simply too great. An incomparably gigantic shadow of fiend gods descended from the skies, blasting towards Qin Wentian, directly covering the entire space, capable of annihilating all existences. The speed of the attacks was as fast as a shooting star. Although Qin Wentian was already at the Immortal Foundation realm, he still felt his body trembling in the face of that unparalleled might. An immortal king from the Immortal Qinbian Gate stepped out. His body was similarly incomparably gigantic, and abruptly, a terrifying immortal light radiated from him as an incomparably gigantic astral tree manifested behind him. This ancient tree towered into the skies, resembling a true astral tree. It had countless vines, and each of the vines shone with a dazzling runic light, resembling the power of law energy. Several attacks from the skies blasted into the astral tree. The destructive might ravaged the area, yet they were all destroyed by the layers of protection. How powerful! Lin Xian'er, who was beside Qin Wentian, felt her heart trembling. It was simply unimaginable that there was actually such a terrifying expert in this world. Indeed, the higher one's cultivation base was, the greater the qualitative leap in one's strength. The attacks of celestial phenomenon ascendants were already many times stronger compared to heavenly dipper sovereigns and Yuanfu sovereigns. But in front of immortal kings, it was like an ant in front of a giant. In the air there was another immortal king. He punched out, causing countless ancient runes to appear in the air. Each rune contained a towering killing might, possessing true destructive might. Similarly, there was another extremely powerful immortal king who blocked his attack. This immortal king punched out, manifesting 3,000 beams of law energy that locked onto the ancient killing runes in the air. The power of his punch shook the heavens and earth, causing the entire space to tremble. In a short instant, a world-shaking battle erupted in the airspace of this particle world, causing the entire world to tremble. Although they were high up in the air, the battlefield was still within the boundaries of the particle world. For a battle of this level, if they were to attack a particle world, they would definitely be able to destroy it. At this moment, the entire particle world was trembling. Many people couldn't even stand stably as destructive beams of light rained down from the sky. The people below were all frantically trying to evade them. The aftershocks from the attacks of immortal kings weren't something they could defend against. At a certain location in the royal sacred region, a wave of sword chi slashed onto the ground, instantly splitting apart a huge crack. The people in the surroundings of that region were all killed by the sword chi. For a time, miserable screams shook the heavens and earth. Many people truly felt the threat of death. As the battle continued, the scenes of doomsday could be seen everywhere in the particle world. Even for the sacred royal city below Qin Wentian's feet, the aftershocks from the attacks were unceasingly blasted down. For example, the aftershocks from a palm strike from an immortal king was comparable to a gigantic ancient mountain, directly drowning an area of a few hundred miles, killing everyone there. When experts fought, the weak would always suffer. This was the cruelty of the martial world. For those who were weak, this was the cruelty of the martial world. Maybe in the past, life in this particle world was very peaceful. But when an immortal war occurred, no one would care about the lives of the weak. Eastern Sage clearly knew that the people here would be plunged into misery and suffering, but he still gave the order to treat this particle world as the main battlefield, disregarding the lives of the common people. Emperor Lord, do you have a method to leave this battlefield? Qin Wentian stared at the Emperor Qinbian's immortal sense as he asked. Just wait. Eastern Sage is personally planning to deal with the immortal Qinbian Gate. Back then when you rejected him at the Dongshangshan Gate, I even took 6 prefectures from him. Although he appeared calm on the surface, it's clear that he has always been planning to deal a fatal blow to the Dongshangshan Gate. It's just that I didn't expect him to use the particle world of your hometown as a breakthrough point to plan a war. The 1,000 Transformations Immortal Emperor slowly spoke. Seems like Eastern Sage's hatred for you is very deep. If not, he wouldn't be thinking about you so much. Being able to make an immortal emperor think about you so much, is this considered a glory or a calamity? In the future, Qin Wentian will continue to grow stronger. Annihilating the Dongshangshan Gate will be my goal. Qin Wentian coldly spoke. During the battle, the Eastern Sage Immortal Sect actually sent more immortal kings to aid them. With such a lineup appearing in this particle world, it was simply like a war between the peak powers of the immortal realms. Qin Wentian. At this moment, a thunderous voice rang out in the air. 2 imposing silhouettes could be seen standing in the air. Qin Wentian actually recognized these 2 people. One of them was an immortal king general under the Dongshang Heaven Emperor, the Deep Flame Immortal King. He was one of the trusted subordinates of the Dongshang Heaven Emperor, and was an extremely powerful immortal king. The other person was also a powerful immortal king, the master of the Scarce Moon Immortal Manor, the Scarce Moon Immortal King. The Scarce Moon Immortal King was also a personal disciple of the Dongshang Heaven Emperor, Ke Tiany's elder. However, he actually died in the hands of Qin Wentian. This Scarce Moon Immortal King was a supreme character of a region, and established an immortal manor in the territory of the Dongshang Heaven Emperor. His personal strength was naturally extremely powerful as well. Right now, 2 extremely terrifying immortal kings appeared in this particle world. From this, one could see the determination of the Dongshang Heaven Emperor. He wanted to kill all the experts from the Immortal Qianbian Gate. If he won this war, he would directly attack the Immortal Qianbian Gate and reclaim the 6 prefectures. He wanted to see who else would dare to seize the territory of his Eastern Sage Immortal Sect. Even Deep Flame and Scarce Moon are here. Eastern Sage, for the sake of this war, you must have mobilized quite a bit of your strength. The Emperor of Qianbian stared at the Dongshang Heaven Emperor in the air. The Dongshang Heaven Emperor was in charge of the Eastern Ascension 13 prefectures in the past, and had many immortal kings under him. However, it was impossible for him to mobilize all the immortal kings in every single war. Usually, he would only mobilize those who could be mobilized. For this war, the Dongshang Heaven Emperor actually summoned so many immortal kings to this particle world. From this, one could see how strong his determination was. The Dongshang Heaven Emperor glanced at the Emperor of Qianbian, feeling somewhat unhappy in his heart. He discovered that in the camp of the Immortal Qianbian Gate, there were some immortal kings whom he wasn't very familiar with. However, their combat prowess was so strong that even he was taken aback. These people, where did the Emperor of Qianbian gather them from to join his Immortal Qianbian Gate? The bodies of the Scarce Moon Immortal King and the Deep Flame Immortal King also expanded in size, incomparably terrifying. Behind the Scarce Moon Immortal King, a crescent moon appeared. This crescent moon seemed to contain a fearsome might within it. The light from the Scarce Moon Immortal King cascaded downwards, shooting towards the ancient astral tree below. In an instant, that ancient astral tree was covered in a layer of frost, as though it was about to be frozen solid. The ancient tree was still radiating an incomparably powerful immortal might. Destructive runic lights radiated from each of its vines, clashing against the might of the Scarce Moon Immortal King. At this moment, the Deep Flame Immortal King coldly snorted as he moved towards the ancient astral tree. Behind him, a hellish sea of destructive fire appeared, as though the shadow of a king of destruction had appeared. A supreme immortal might gushed forth, as the flames from the depths of hell seeped into the ancient astral tree. The attacks of the Deep Flame Immortal King and the Scarce Moon Immortal King, one was ice, one was fire, one was cold, one was hot. In an instant, the ancient astral tree was being destroyed bit by bit. It wanted to struggle, but it was still weakening, unable to block such terrifying attacks. Humph! The Deep Flame Immortal King coldly snorted. With a wave of his hand, boundless destructive hellfire gushed downwards, raining down on the particle world. Many of the hellfire that landed on the particle world was instantly incinerated, turning everything into scorched earth. How terrifying was the Deep Flame Immortal King's hellfire! Those were true immortal flames. That expert who released the ancient astral tree screamed in agony. He retracted the ancient astral tree back into his body, but the destructive flames were still burning, destroying his immortal foundation. Staring at this battle, Qin Wentian felt that the situation was disadvantageous to the immortal Qinbian Gate. The battle situation was tilting in their favor, and in fact there were even people dying. In such a large-scale immortal war, even immortal kings would lose their lives. "Brat, your death date has arrived." The eyes of the deep flame immortal king coldly stared at Qin Wentian. Back then at the Dongshengshan Gate, Qin Wentian killed his disciple and humiliated him. Smacking his face was extremely satisfying. He, the deep flame immortal king, was a lofty existence. He had never been humiliated by a little fellow at the celestial phenomenon realm before. Although that brat had already broken through to immortal foundation, he deserved death even more. His cultivation speed was truly too fast. Deep flame, your judgment has always been very poor. Now that your disciple was killed, and Kei Tianyi, whom you had high hopes for, also died in the hands of Qin Wentian, have you turned your shame into anger? A voice drifted down from the sky. Two silhouettes descended from the air, appearing before Qin Wentian. Among these two silhouettes, one was in white and the other in black. The person who spoke was none other than the silhouette in white. This man had a handsome countenance and his long hair fluttered in the wind. The countenance of the black-robed expert was terrifyingly cold. His pitch-black eyes flickered with an intent of death and destruction. In his hand was a black-colored saber that resembled the saber of the Grim Reaper. Bai Wuya. The deep flame immortal king stared at the white-robed figure. He thought back then when the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor came to this particle world to recruit disciples. At that time he had quarreled with Bai Wuya. He had high hopes for Kei Tianyi, but Kei Tianyi was accepted as a disciple by the Eastern Sage Immortal King. He accepted Black Peak as his disciple, but he belittled Qin Wentian in all aspects. And as for Bai Wuya, he had high hopes for Qin Wentian. Right now, regardless of Kei Tianyi or Black Peak, both of them had died in the hands of Qin Wentian. Chapter 1032. Bai Wuya. In the air, the shadow of the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor stared at Bai Wuya as coldness flickered in his eyes. How has my Dongshengshan Gate offended you? You actually chose to join the immortal Qinbian Gate? Bai Wuya inclined his head, staring at the shadow of the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor as he emotionlessly spoke. Senior Eastern Sage started a war in a particle world, causing the lives of countless people to be plunged into misery and suffering. You have cultivated to the peak of the immortal realms, yet you still chose to commit such atrocities. How disappointing. You care so much about the lives of the common people? The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor coldly spoke. You, Bai Wuya, have cultivated until now. How could the number of people you killed be any less? I, Bai Wuya, only kill those I feel deserve to die. Bai Wuya calmly spoke. Back then, he killed a descendant of an immortal emperor in a fit of rage. This was precisely the White Robe Immortal King's style. If he wanted to kill someone, he wouldn't care about their identity. Humph, the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor coldly snorted. He then glanced at the black-robed man beside Bai Wuya. Saber Lord of Death, do you want to oppose me as well? The black-robed man was none other than Mu Yan's master, the Saber Lord of Death who had helped Qin Wentian back then. He was the same as Bai Wuya, a disciple of the Heavenly Talisman realm. In terms of seniority, he could be considered Qin Wentian's senior apprentice brother. It's just that he naturally wouldn't acknowledge him now. The appearance of the immortal Qinbian Gate seemed to have become their disguise. Most probably, others would think that they were part of the immortal Qinbian Gate. The Saber Lord of Death didn't reply to the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor's words. The position he stood on was his standpoint. There was no need for him to say anything more. Deep Flame, your judgment is bad and your strength is nothing much. Didn't you always want to spar with me back then? Today I shall give you a chance. The White Robe Immortal King turned his gaze over, staring at the gigantic Deep Flame in the air. I'd like to see how strong you, Bai Wuya, are. The Deep Flame Immortal King similarly radiated a towering battle intent, wanting to crush the heavens. Behind him, the Devil King of Destruction from Hell radiated a destructive might that enveloped this entire space. You go and deal with the others. Leave these two to me. Bai Wuya said to the sabresman of death beside him. The death swordsman lightly nodded and replied, "All right." Although the saber lord of death was extremely famous, he knew very well how powerful Bai Wuya was. Bai Wuya was more than sufficient to deal with the Deep Flame Immortal King and Scarce Moon Immortal King. Even in the Heavenly Talisman realm, Bai Wuya was considered one of the more legendary immortal kings. Arrogant. The Deep Flame Immortal King tyrannically roared, his voice shaking the heavens and earth. How arrogant was Bai Wuya's words? Wanting to deal with him and the Scarce Moon Immortal King alone? Both of them were extremely famous immortal kings in the Eastern Sage 13 prefectures. The Scarce Moon Immortal King was the master of the Scarce Moon Immortal Manor, while he, the Deep Flame Immortal King, was a war general under the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor. In fact, when they were famous, it was still unknown where Bai Wuya was. But now this Bai Wuya actually dared to be so arrogant? Busy. As the sound of the Deep Flame Immortal King's voice faded, Bai Wuya's silhouette vanished as a runic figure appeared in the air. It was none other than the White Robe Immortal King. His entire person exuded an ethereal aura. He didn't expand his size, he was still in his normal size as he instantly rushed towards the Deep Flame Immortal King. In front of the Deep Flame Immortal King's gigantic body, the White Robe Immortal King seemed extremely tiny. The eyes of the Deep Flame Immortal King flickered with destructive hellfire. His palms grabbed downwards, instantly enveloping an entire space. This entire space was instantly engulfed in hellfire, as the howls of demons could be heard, wanting to destroy everything. Qin Wentian stared at the battlefield as he broke out in cold sweat for Bai Wuya. He could clearly feel the destructive might contained within the Deep Flame Immortal King's attacks. Bai Wuya actually fell into it. And at this moment, a blinding light radiated forth from that hellish dimension. Within that dimension, a resplendent white pathway appeared, and Bai Wuya's silhouette could be seen on it. Stepping out, he directly walked out from the dimension, exuding a carefree aura as he dashed towards the Deep Flame Immortal King's body. The Deep Flame Immortal King blasted out with his other hand. Yet another pathway appeared. Bai Wuya was like a bolt of lightning as he sped towards the Deep Flame Immortal King. Movement art. A movement art infused with immortal might. Qin Wentian stared at that carefree silhouette. At this instant, the disadvantage of the Deep Flame Immortal King's gigantic physique was clearly revealed. Although his body was extremely large, his agility was still very good. But because his body was too big, the gaps between his attacks were too large. Compared to him, Bai Wuya's body was small, but his movement art was fast enough to evade the Deep Flame Immortal King's attacks and arrive before him. In that case, the one on the passive side would be the Deep Flame Immortal King. The Deep Flame Immortal King spat out a mouthful of destructive immortal might. The terrifying hellish silhouette behind him also unleashed a terrifying attack. However, Bai Wuya's speed was too fast. His movement art infused with the laws of the Great Tao, allowing him to move through the air unceasingly, nearing the Deep Flame Immortal King's body in an instant. Boom! The Deep Flame Immortal King's body rapidly shrunk. His body was simply too gigantic, and if Bai Wuya got near him, his entire body would be free to be attacked by Bai Wuya. Naturally, the Deep Flame Immortal King didn't remain idle even as his body shrunk. Boundless destructive immortal might gushed forth from him, and in an instant, the surroundings of his body transformed into a destructive light that enveloped the entire space. There was no place that could evade the destructive might radiating from him. But at this instant, within that hellish destructive might, a resplendent ancient pathway appeared. Bai Wuya's silhouette was like a phantom, opening up a path for him to walk on. Boom! A supreme might gushed forth from Bai Wuya. At the instant the Deep Flame Immortal King's body shrunk, his body abruptly expanded to an incomparably gigantic size. The white robes he was clad in seemed to be specially made, growing larger and larger along with his body. His white robes fluttered in the wind, transforming from a suave and carefree immortal king into a tyrannical immortal king in an instant. His eyes gleamed with a dazzling light as boundless runic light radiated from him. At the instant his eyes opened, a terrifying runic light enveloped this entire space, enveloping the Deep Flame Immortal King. This was an eye technique. In an instant, the energy flow in the Deep Flame Immortal King's body, his blood, his bones, everything could be seen clearly. Under that eye technique, there was no way for him to hide. At this instant, the deep flame immortal king had a strange feeling. It was like he was seen through by Wuya. Under that pair of eyes there was no way for him to hide. In fact, he even felt a formless pressure pressing down on him. That pair of eyes seemed to be a grave threat to his life. Boom! Behind the white-robed immortal king by Wuya, a pair of heavenly eyes appeared, radiating boundless immortal might. It was as though this was a law energy unique to him. Die! Only to see Bai Wuya roaring. From Bai Wuya to the deep flame immortal king, an immortal bridge appeared. Boundless terrifying law energy directly penetrated into the deep flame immortal king's body through that pair of terrifying eyes. At this instant, the deep flame immortal king only felt his entire body trembling, as though it was about to be destroyed. He roared in rage. His body, which was initially shrinking, instantly halted. He lifted his palms and blasted out, wanting to destroy everything. Rumble! The heavenly eyes behind Bai Wuya seemed to be able to see through everything, containing a might that could split apart the heavens and earth. He lifted his hand and pointed out with a finger as a tyrannical law energy instantly manifested, directly destroying the destructive might of the deep flame immortal king. Gotcha! A crisp sound rang out. The deep flame immortal king groaned in misery as his gigantic body trembled. This battle instantly attracted the attention of countless people. The people of this particle world stared at the battle in the air. That white-robed immortal king was so powerful, suppressing the destructive might of the deep flame immortal king, with absolute superiority. But at this moment, the silhouette of a moon suddenly enveloped the white-robed immortal king. It was none other than the scarce moon immortal king. At this moment, the scarce moon immortal king, who was extremely famous in the Eastern Sage 13 prefectures, didn't care about face and joined forces with the deep flame immortal king to deal with Bai Wuya. Scarce moon immortal king, do you only have this little bit of strength? The white-robed immortal king inclined his head and stared at the scarce moon immortal king. The light from the heavenly eyes enveloped him, and he was completely unaffected by the destructive might of the deep flame immortal king's attack. With a single step, he directly walked out from the beam of light. This scene caused the countenance of the scarce moon immortal king to turn incredibly unsightly. He was extremely famous in the immortal realms, yet he was actually being looked down upon like this. The deep flame immortal king retreated, but he only saw the white-robed immortal king, Bai Wuya, stepping out once more. That world-shaking immortal steps appeared once more, able to ignore the violent fluctuations of space. Although his body was incomparably gigantic, everyone could still feel how fast his movement technique was. The deep flame immortal king felt his body shuddering. He roared in rage, causing the entire space to tremble. His fists punched out, wanting to destroy everything, wanting to crush Bai Wuya. Such power was too terrifying. The spectators only felt that even the sky was about to be destroyed by this abyssal energy. Open! The heavenly eyes radiated boundless immortal might, forming their own laws. Bai Wuya's eyes could split apart the heavens and earth, destroying the entire hell abyss with a single glance, revealing an immortal path. Bai Wuya stepped out, wanting to force the deep flame immortal king into a dead end. The countenance of the deep flame immortal king turned ashen. He was a war general under the Dongshang Heaven Emperor, yet he was actually being suppressed by Bai Wuya. This was a completely one-sided battle. The waves behind will always surpass the waves before. The Emperor Qianbian's side. Bai Wuya's strength caused him to be in awe. Also, he only rose to fame later on, while the deep flame immortal king and the scarce moon immortal king were both famous even before Bai Wuya's name was known by others. But now Bai Wuya alone could easily fight against the two of them. There was no such thing as time and age in cultivation. If one was talented enough, as long as they did not die, they would be able to surpass their predecessors. The countenance of the Dongshang Heaven Emperor turned incredibly unsightly. Although Bai Wuya's fame wasn't small, he had never seen Bai Wuya's combat prowess before. Now that he saw it today, it was completely out of his expectations. A terrifying energy frenziedly circulated within the deep flame immortal king's body. Gradually, the deep flame immortal king felt himself losing control of his own strength. Die! Another cold voice rang out. Bai Wuya's eyes gleamed with a supreme divine light. With a piercing sound, the deep flame immortal king coughed out a mouthful of blood as his countenance paled. Boom! Bai Wuya took another step forward, following closely behind. The deep flame immortal king let out a deafening roar. His countenance was devoid of blood, looking extremely malevolent. Chapter 1033. The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor's expression drastically changed when he saw this scene. The deep flame immortal king was a war general under him, and was extremely powerful. Yet, he was actually being suppressed and was even in danger of being killed. Go ahead. The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor spoke. He didn't have many subordinates at the level of the deep flame immortal king. He definitely couldn't allow him to die here. Yes, your majesty. The deep flame immortal king replied. His countenance extremely ugly to behold. Fleeing in defeat to him, the deep flame immortal king. This was a humiliation. Bai Wuya frowned. His eyes seemed to want to slice apart the deep flame immortal king's body. The path to immortality appeared. Bai Wuya transformed into a series of terrifying shadows as he sped towards the deep flame immortal king. Rumble! A terrifying abyss appeared. The deep flame immortal king stepped into it, transforming into a terrifying passageway. He wanted to vanish from this passageway. Bai Wuya's immortal might gushed forth to the extreme, enveloping the entire abyss. After which, the terrifying passageway was slashed apart. The deep flame immortal king screamed unceasingly. His eyes flashed with towering flames of rage. With a wave of his hand, a spatial treasure enveloped him, wanting to bring him away. Chi! The heavenly eye behind Bai Wuya could truly split the heavens apart, locking down the spatial tempest. It directly swept over, forcefully altering the spatial law energy, causing the space around him to distort. The deep flame immortal king struggled within the spatial tempest, but he had no way to leave. Bai Wuya! The deep flame immortal king was filled with boundless rage. The immortal might from the white robe immortal king locked him down. With a single finger strike, the sound of shattering rang out unceasingly. The runic bones in his body shattered as his blood gushed out, flowing towards the particle world below. Bai Wuya, you dare to kill him? In the air, the eyes of the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor flickered with killing intent. Bai Wuya actually wanted to kill the deep flame immortal king. Countless people in the particle world stared at this towering battle, as waves of shock rose in their hearts. They actually felt their blood boiling. This Eastern sage was cruel and emotionless, treating the lives of everyone in this world like grass. Such a person deserved to die. Everyone was praying for him to be defeated. Now that they saw the magnificence of the white robe immortal king, they were all filled with excitement. A strand of your immortal sense dares to threaten Bai Wuya? The Emperor Qianbian stared at the Eastern sage shadow in the air as he coldly spoke. In addition, so what if your true body is here? In a battle between two transcendent powers, you and I cannot interfere. If your true body is here, you can only watch as the deep flame immortal king dies. In the battle between the Dongshengshan Gate and the immortal Qianbian Gate, immortal emperors wouldn't act unless it was a matter of life and death. This was the hidden rule of battles in the immortal realms. If not, the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor would kill the people of the immortal Qianbian Gate, or the Emperor Qianbian would kill the people of the Dongshengshan Gate. In the end, all of them would be wiped out, leaving behind only immortal emperors. What was the meaning of that? The deep flame immortal king was still struggling. He frenziedly took out immortal weapons, but at his and Bai Wuya's level, unless it was a heaven-defying immortal weapon, it wouldn't be able to do anything. He was merely putting up a final struggle. The scarce moon immortal king who was behind them continued to fight. The two of them retreated too quickly, so quickly that he could only chase after them. However, he soon discovered that the situation was already irreversible. He hesitated. Should he continue to help the deep flame immortal king? Bai Wuya killed the deep flame immortal king. Would the next one be him? Although these immortal kings were usually incomparably domineering and imposing, that was only because their statuses were high. But when faced with a life and death crisis, they would be extremely vigilant. They have lived for countless years and had lofty statuses, authority, women, they didn't lack anything. A single sentence from them could affect countless people, causing many experts to submit. Who would be willing to die for such characters? Bai Wuya's strength caused even the scarce moon immortal king, who was an extremely famous character, to feel trepidation in his heart. Being able to suppress the deep flame immortal king, and not only that, the deep flame immortal king didn't even have the strength to flee. Such a white-robed immortal king was simply too terrifying. Arc. The white-robe immortal king arrived before the deep flame immortal king. His eyes seemed capable of splitting apart the heavens and earth as he blasted out with his palms. With a thunderous boom, the deep flame immortal king let out a howl of agony as his body exploded. Blood rained down from the sky as his runic bones fell to the ground. A strand of his immortal sense wanted to flee, but it was instantly enveloped by Wuya's heavenly gaze, causing him to vanish completely. Unless the deep flame immortal king left a strand of his immortal sense in the surroundings, he would have completely vanished from this world. In addition, even if he left a strand of immortal sense behind, the moment it appeared, it would dissipate. In the particle world, when the blood of the deep flame immortal king landed on the ground, the spectators actually felt a terrifying pressure as they evaded it unceasingly. The droplets of blood transformed into a lake of blood, containing a terrifying might that was many times stronger compared to the bloodlines of experts. Those runic bones fell from the sky, containing a fearsome might. The spectators in the particle world were all fleeing madly. They knew that the bones of immortals were all treasures and wanted to snatch them away. Every part of the deep flame immortal king's body was a supreme treasure to the people of this particle world. He really died. Many immortal kings in the battlefield felt their hearts trembling. The deep flame immortal king, a powerful immortal king war general under the Eastern Sage immortal emperor, had fallen. If it was an ordinary immortal king dying, it would be very normal and they wouldn't be too shocked. But this was the death of the deep flame immortal king. The deep flame immortal king was domineeringly killed by Wuya. In that case, which immortal king here would be able to contend against Wuya? An absolute expert would be able to influence the entire situation of an immortal war. Wuya abruptly turned and stepped out, dashing towards the scarce moon immortal king. At this instant, the eyes of the scarce moon immortal king twitched. Under the shocked gazes of the spectators below, the scarce moon immortal king actually didn't choose to fight. He chose to turn and flee instead, soaring through the air. Bastard! The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor's countenance turned ashen. An immortal king who had been famous for countless years actually chose to flee from Wuya. However, to the scarce moon immortal king, it was understandable. His strength was definitely not stronger than the deep flame immortal king, but the deep flame immortal king didn't even have the ability to flee in front of Wuya. Wuya didn't chase after him. He instantly entered the battlefield. The situation of the immortal Qinbian Gate wasn't optimistic at all. The Saber Lord of Death's participation slightly alleviated the pressure on the immortal Qinbian Gate. After all, the Saber Lord of Death was someone from the heavenly talisman realm. Although he wasn't as outstanding as Wuya, his combat prowess was still extremely high when compared to ordinary immortal kings. The saber in his hand was like the saber of the Grim Reaper, extremely dangerous. But even so, many immortal kings of the immortal Qinbian Gate were injured. 2 immortal kings died. This caused the hearts of Qin Wentian and Lin Xian to tremble violently. This immortal war was too terrifying. Even immortal kings died. Even someone as powerful as the deep flame immortal king died in this battle. Wuya entered the battlefield. His immortal might gushed forth as his heavenly eye instantly enveloped an immortal king. That immortal king instantly felt his body being locked down as a mysterious energy invaded his body. The white robe immortal king transformed into a phantom, stepping out step by step. Everyone only saw many white afterimages appearing in the air. Very swiftly, yet another immortal king died. A shocking sight to behold. Dongsheng Heaven Emperor's countenance grew increasingly unsightly. Although on the surface the combat prowess of the Dongshengshan Gate was still superior, Wuya alone could overturn the entire situation. There was no one here who could block Wuya. Retreat. Dongsheng Heaven Emperor was also an extremely decisive character. The moment he saw that he had no way to kill these people of the immortal Qinbian Gate, he instantly gave the order to retreat. All the immortal kings soared up into the air and flew away. Wuya didn't chase after them. No matter how strong he was, it was impossible for him to fight against so many immortal kings alone. Very swiftly, the immortal kings of the Dongshengshan Gate all retreated into the air. Their countenances were cold as they stared downwards. After that, All of them transformed into beams of light and sped away. The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor's shadow was still there, coldly staring at Bai Wuya. The situation of this battle actually changed because of a single person, Bai Wuya. Eastern Sage, seems like your preparations are insufficient. The Emperor Qianbian coldly mocked. Humph, the Dongsheng Heaven Emperor coldly snorted. He stared at Bai Wuya. For this battle, just consider it my carelessness. Next time, your immortal Qianbian gate won't be so lucky to retreat unscathed. Luck? The Emperor Qianbian coldly laughed. The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor's shadow gradually turned illusory before vanishing completely. The pressure in the sky finally vanished. The people of the particle world all stood up straight and heaved a sigh of relief. Everything had ended. They felt as though they had just narrowly escaped death. Many places in the surroundings suffered calamities, and many people even managed to escape death. The aftershocks of the immortal battle blasted into the particle world, directly razing it to the ground. In this immortal battle, although a few immortal kings died, the casualties of the people of the particle world were simply too many. Luckily, the cruel Dongsheng Heaven Emperor was forced into retreat. They would forever remember the name of this tyrant. If there was a day when they could reach that level, they would definitely take revenge for him. On the contrary, the name of the white-robed immortal king, Bai Wuya, was engraved in everyone's minds. His magnificence throughout the generations was something that the entire world would never forget. This immortal battle was like a baptism to the people of this particle world. It allowed them to have a clearer view of this world, and their thirst for strength grew even stronger. The Star River Association allied with the Dongsheng Gate to plot against us. Uproot all the Star River Association in this particle world. The Emperor Qianbian coldly commanded. A moment later, several immortal kings flew towards this particle world. Not long after they returned, the Star River Association had vanished from this particle world. Wentian, follow me back to the immortal realms. For now, don't come into contact with this particle world. Regardless of the Dongsheng Gate or the Star River Association, this particle world is just a country bumpkin. They wouldn't care too much about it. This time around, they only wanted to target you and the immortal Qianbian Gate. Since you have severed your connection with this particle world, they naturally wouldn't bother with this place anymore. The Emperor Qianbian spoke. Let's go. Qin Wentian nodded. Let's return. The Emperor Qianbian commanded. A moment later, everyone returned. Bai Wuya walked to the side of Qin Wentian and brought Qin Wentian away. Qin Wentian stood in the air and cast a glance at this world with reluctance. After that, he turned his head back and stared at the starry space as his expression grew even more resolute. From now onwards, he would forget about the past and conquer the immortal realms.